Right, I believe we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm hanging out with Arch Warhammer, who has been declared the misogynist of the Warhammer 40,000 community. How are you,
I
Arch?
have, and I am exceedingly pleased about it.
It's amazing. I really wanted to make the title of this War Frying Pan 40,000, but Arch wouldn't let me.
It's a bit too sexist, you know. We need to control ourselves.
We do. That's true. But so yeah, there's been somewhat of a feminist incursion into Warhammer of late, hasn't there, Arch?
Yes, well, the thing is, we're just starting to see the vague outlines of what we usually start to see when all of this starts going down. Currently, it's been a message from Games Workshop on their Facebook page saying that they are looking into giving us more representation in Warhammer 40k. And right now, I'm kind of ambivalent on the matter. Like, we don't know enough yet to really start judging what's happening, but all of the various large 40k and tabletop gaming news sites have also been picking up on this, and everyone is very positive. And you see the same old stuff. You know, anyone who's against this must be a misogynist. La di la di la. It's having
Well,
all the hallmarks of an invasion.
it's interesting you say that because I'm going to share my screen because I have something pertinent to this. This is from January 2016 on the Mary Sue. In the grim darkness of Warhammer 40k's far future, there are only men, and it's terrible.
Oh yes, I did a whole video on that. It was
So yeah,
hilarious.
it's not that this hasn't been coming for a while or it hasn't been on the radar. And so yeah, I found this post on Geek Dad, who I'm not familiar with at all, but he's commenting on this. So it comes down to the question for, I assume this guy's a feminist. Is there enough representation of minority groups on the Warhammer table? And the short answer is no. They're all
Of
being
course there
edged
is,
out by
because there's
tyranids.
never enough, is there?
No, of course not. How could there be?
I mean, this guy's. I did a video on this one too, and his primary argument is that there isn't enough diversity in terms of skin color. And first and foremost, I'm like, okay, why does this matter? Why are we talking about skin color? And he made a beautiful argument in here about the salamanders, who are, of course, black, and space marines, which goes kind of contrary to his narrative. His counter argument was that they had been turned black by solar radiation.
But that's how black people were turned black.
That is entirely correct. Fuck on.
So, hang on. Jesus. Okay, so let me wrap my head around this. So some space marines evolved to be black, and that's
Yes,
not okay.
because they live on the planet Nocturne, a hellhole constantly bathed in solar radiation.
Right. And so they turn black a lot quicker than we presume black people that were human turn black, right?
Yes, because Space Marines naturally adapt to it. They even have a special implant that allows them to darken the color of their skin.
Wow, that's really racist. Christ.
Yes, it is.
Space no, actually no, it's not. No, hang on. They're transracial. This is like this is important for their ideology. If Space Marines can actually change the color of their skin, you can't just say, well, they're a bunch of white men.
That's a good point. Either they're transracial or they are so racist that they constantly have fake blackface.
Yeah, they're always blacking up. Jesus. There are definitely two ways of looking at this. I mean, if we were talking about Sisters of Battle being able to do this, then it would be transracial. But because there's men doing this, they're clearly blacking up. They should have
Yes,
thought about this.
they really should have.
So the response to this was you did a video on this, right?
Yes, I did.
And how was it received generally? So let me find out.
With the usual mix of disbelief and outrage, I believe.
Let me guess. I bet it's the highest viewed video on your channel, isn't it?
It's got a few
Oh,
views. In
nearly.
fact,
Nearly.
there are only females. The feminist perspective on Warhammer 40k, the one that you showed us first, is the
Yeah.
second highest viewed video on my channel.
Yes. Yeah. Very nearly the highest. I remember when you did this actually. And so yes, 10,000 up votes and 1,000 down votes. So I think we can use this as a sort of poll of public opinion on whether feminism is popular in the 40k community or not. And from this, we could say no.
See, the interesting thing is, usually my main channel is rather diverse. So when I do just a political video, there's actually quite a diverse variety of opinions. But whenever I do anything on 40K, it's not, because most people, well, they don't like this. It seems to be an overt invasion of our hobby.
And not, I mean, it is. It absolutely is a group of an ideological, effectively faction that's come in and said, we want you to change your hobby to suit our needs. They weren't here 10 years ago. They weren't there when I was playing 40K. So, we were the grim basement dwellers. They were far too cool to hang around with. But now that our grim basement dwelling hobbies are popular, oh, by the way, you need a feminist version of this. So, yeah,
we really do.
Okay. But I love some of these comments, and what I love about this is they're not even refuting this on the basis of feminist ideology. They're actually providing the contextual in-world reasons as to why things are as they are. And I mean, this one, as far as I know, Warhammer is supposed to be a grim, dark setting, a place where equality doesn't even exist. That you could definitely make that argument to a feminist.
You certainly could. And to be honest, Warhammer 40K is one of the most diverse settings in fucking sci-fi. The Emperor doesn't care if you have a vagina or a penis, or hell, both of them. He'll happily give you a lasgun and send you charging towards the enemy. Not a problem. And
you'll happily be sacrificed to him if you're found to be a psycho.
Oh, certainly.
It's rather non-discriminatory. I mean, I like this. I'm pretty sure Slaanesh isn't transgender as much as it is omnigender. It's like, well, yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, Slaanesh have always been the sort of, it's always been present in 40K, which is really interesting. So it's kind of hard. You need to have transgender things. Yeah, we have transgender things.
See, that's the thing. That's why they want to invade it in what already exists and change it, because in 40K, they can't say women aren't equal to men. They are. They are subject to the exactly same brutal, tyrannical regime as everyone else. You don't have transgender, Slaanesh. You don't have gay people, Slaanesh. Hell, I could point you towards practically anything and say Slaanesh.
Yeah. And I love some of these, just like the sexual politics of a board game. So yeah, the sexual politics of a board game. That's how first world this is, just so you know. But yeah, this is rather amusing. But it was the feminist 40K home page on Facebook that posted something that effectively called you and I out, didn't it?
Yes, you are a terrorist sympathizer, and I am Hitler.
Well, that didn't take long. Before we go on, we'd just like to say, don't contact these people, because if you send them messages, they will claim it as harassment, whether it is or it isn't, and they will use that to gain sympathy from Games Workshop. Your best bet is to just literally laugh along with us. Don't send them messages.
Exactly. Do not harass them, or do not try to shut them down in any way, because I would like them to continue with this, to be entirely honest. This is funny.
This is something that you can inoculate other people with, so trust. This is you're going to want to keep this around. So yeah, so the mission statement is, as gaming and hobby enthusiasts, we would like 40K to be a more friendly gaming environment. Oh yeah, okay, I see how this goes.
I do love it whenever they do this. Like, oh, we just want it to be friendly. Of course, we're going to heavily moderate our own group, and we're going to ban anyone that disagrees, but, well, they were, misogynist, so they're not really humans.
It's like, it's a group of arseholes coming along going, you know what, you're not really very friendly towards us. Oh yeah, we know. You're a group of arseholes. That's why. I mean, look at what you've already said about me and Arch. It's just like, you are just terrible fucking people, just from the out. And I think that is literally something about feminism, because it's a power tactic to take over segments of society with a new set of rules. And so the people who are the ones setting the rules get to be in control of things. And I'm certain that it attracts a certain kind of person because of the way it operates.
Yes, and by the way, just a little tidbit here. I have not had this confirmed, but I have been told to me via Twitter that the founder of Feminist 40K is, of course, a man.
Okay, well, we better keep an eye on him, because it's only going to be a matter of time until he comes out as a sexual harasser. No,
I
literally.
wish that wasn't fucking true.
People keep asking me, where's the male feminist video? Because I said to everyone, right, I'm going to be just collating all of these male feminists who harass women, and then I'll do a big video on it. Yeah, they keep coming out. They keep getting exposed, and so it's like, right, okay, well, I'll do it next week then, and then a bunch more will come out, and it's like, oh god. So yeah, I mean, I've got like, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them listed so far. It's actually really scary how many of these people have real problems with women, and I swear this is a way of them assuaging their guilty consciences. I swear to God. But anyway, but we can't help noticing that it isn't always so. No, obviously. I mean, I love this is so awful. It's like, by the way, you're not always friendly. It's like, well, no, I guess I'm not always friendly, but we're mostly friendly, so it's okay. Yeah, but that's not always. Yeah, but it's not going to be always, because people disagree on things.
See, I have a theory. I think these people frequent the worst game stores in history, because hearing them tell it, if something even vaguely feminine steps through the doors, every member inside will just turn at them and hiss and start throwing models at them like, go away, woman thing.
But the thing is, it's not that that's the case. They're lying. That's what it is. They know that, you know, if a woman goes to a 40k thing, okay, like even if she feels out of place, that's not anyone being openly hostile. You know, that's just her feeling about the place. You know, people could be completely neutral towards her, and she would still feel like she's not being included. And that's true, you know, and the way you get past that is by talking to those people, getting to know them, and then they'll invite you to play, I don't know, and that's usually done by playing some games with them, and you get to know them, you start to build a rapport. This is how you make friends. I know that this is crazy how I have to fucking explain how to make friends, but what they're saying is not that the space is necessarily hostile, it's just neutral towards you.
Yes, but Sargon, think of the females. What we need here is a Gestapo officer by the door, so that every time a woman steps in, he can wave over a group of interested men, like, come here, play with this one. She's feeling neglected. Oh no, now she's feeling a little bit ganged up on. Back off, back off.
Yes, under the direction of Commissar Big Red. Like, this is that's creepy. It's just like they think they deserve special treatment. Actually, to be honest, how I mean, imagine if this was a man going, right, I want a bunch of people to come and pander to me for a bit. Like,
I would like to recreate this space in a way that fits me better. Okay, I have special needs.
yeah, excuse me, I don't feel like your 40k group is friendly all the time. So I think we should do things my way. It's such a bizarre. It's like, you asshole, fuck off. You know. I feel like such a fucking ass, but that's the Nazi in me, I guess. Many women have said that they love 40k, the game, the lore, and the models. Okay, have they though?
Well, I've actually
when you say many, no, I'm sure there are a minority of women who like 40k. You know, that I'm absolutely certain they are, and more power to them. You know, you enjoy the hobbies one. But I think saying many, I think it's a kind of rhetorical sleight of hand. You know, oh, many women. Well, how many? Well, 1 in 20. It's like, okay, that's not many. You know, and I'm not saying that women shouldn't play it or anything. I'm just saying let's be realistic. I went to a lot of conventions. Okay.
Now, I do think that is true to a degree, because I did a little mini series where I basically asked, like, okay, are there any women that wants to come on and talk with me? And I'll talk to you about your experiences with 40k. And practically all of them also said, you know, there's not that many women. Most of my girlfriends aren't that interested in 40k. I'm a little bit of the weird one out because I like it, etc. So, yeah, many in quotation marks.
But okay, so let's assume it's a significant number that play 40k. Of what number of those women are feminists? Because in the US, it's about 17-18% of the population, and in Britain, it's 7%. So is that, I mean, are we saying that disproportionately feminists are playing 40k? If so, why? If it's so unrepresentative? But let's assume that it's like double the representation. So we'll give them 40% of those women are feminists. It's like, right, okay, that's a huge disproportionate chunk of this group is a feminist activist group. So, okay, you're not even, I don't think you can ever claim to be talking for the majority of women in these environments. Well, I mean, what do you think?
I would be extremely surprised if there were a large number of proper feminists in 40k. Like, again, pretty much everyone I've talked to, like, if they really feel the need to be represented, you know what they do? They go play the all-female army in 40k, the Sisters of Battle, because 40k has one of those.
Yeah, then are they not allowed men or something? Arch, that sounds really discriminatory.
It is very discriminatory, and it's because the guy who initially created the Sisters of Battle essentially wanted to build his own personal harem, and he wasn't gay, so...
So he was a male feminist.
Yes, if anything, he was homophobic, okay?
Well, it's probably some sort of Islamophobe as well.
Probably,
And
yeah.
have you noticed that they? How long do you think it is until we have Tyrannid Lives Matter?
Well, think about it. The Tyranids are actually a fairly good representation of feminism. They sweep over everything in a ravening, gibbering horde, devouring all that is good and replacing it with biological diversity.
I'm trying to keep my laugh down because my son's in bed. So we're talking about intersectional Tyranids.
Oh, we are indeed.
Christ. And they literally are a hive mind.
And the best part is, in that case, the victim pyramid keeps growing. If you shame one Tyranid for not being transgender, he'll jump into a spawning pit and come out as trigender.
So, okay, what I really want to see on Twitter are pictures of Tyranids with feminist hair, glasses, problem glasses. Holy shit, the Tyranids is such a good analogy.
We have come to fix your lack of diversity.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ, it couldn't be any more cut and dried, could it? We're literally going to have caste hierarchies. Anyway, so, but they're put off by the hostility they encounter. Yeah, you're right. People are just chucking their models on. Get out, bitch. We hate women here. It's such a stupid thing. It's like, no one has ever said that anywhere. Why do you think people are saying it? We feel that this should change for the better. And you're the ones to do it. It's not that you just feel this way and you're neutral about feeling this way. No. You know, it's not anyone else could do this, is it? It's all such self-interest. And it's a fucking man, as you say.
Unconfirmed, to be fair.
Yeah, so we feel this should change for the better. We want to speak up against the harassment and discrimination. Now there's harassment and discrimination people encounter to try and create a friendlier gaming environment. We also believe that it is a myth that only men are interested in tabletop gaming in general. Well, in general, It is mostly men.
I mean, it's like the myth that only men. Yes, no, there is no. I don't think there's a single fandom anywhere in history that is only one gender. For fuck's sake, Barbie has male fans.
Wizard Chan probably is, or something like that. But like the the MRA pickup forums and stuff probably are. Like, not sorry, I shouldn't conflate the two. The pickup artist forums probably are, but like they're like, this is a game, not like a special interest like that, But yeah, I mean, no one's ever said it's only women. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm losing my thoughts there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
yeah, no, it's not only men. Hashtag not all.
But no, the thing is, though, if you're going to make a generalization, which they are, they say in general, is that okay? But in general, it is a game that men play, mostly. There are some women, but if you're going to generalize, what's the average 40K player look like? It's a guy.
It is a guy.
That's not a myth. That is literally like the result of the number of people and how they break down into various demographics. It's on average a man. But that's fine. It doesn't mean a woman can't play. Holy shit. And this is the thing, isn't it? Like, the very idea that, okay, so that's a man. Okay, well, that means that women are being excluded. No, it doesn't. It's not a fucking fight. It just means that more men are interested in that than women. They're not keeping them out.
It's the idea that we need to change that for some mysterious reason.
Because they think the space becomes masculinized, which it inevitably does. But why wouldn't it? It's mostly men. A space that's mostly women becomes feminized. As it should be, because it's mostly women, and you cater to the majority of people.
That is an awful lot of mansplaining right there.
Right? It's just like, I mean, it just seems unfair that I would go into, like, if there was, the MRA's got the legislation through, right, you can't have female-only gyms because it's discriminatory to men, boom, 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 boom. So I go into a previously female-only gym, and do I have the right to go, right, I'm a minority in this space now? You need to masculinize the hell out of this because it's making me feel uncomfortable that everything's covered in, fluffy pink lining or something? Of course not. You know, there's absolutely no way I have any right to demand they change their space because I, a single person, have entered it.
And there's also just the idea that, okay, here's the thing. Okay, they ask for models, for example. More female representation in models. And to a certain extent, I don't even mind. If Games Workshop wanted to come out with a conversion sprue, for example, that could allow you to make female guardsmen, I don't care. Perfectly fine. I don't mind that.
Plastic what about female Tyranids, Arch?
See, that's the thing. Plastic Systems of Battle, etc., I do not mind. Please bring him on. But the thing is, as I actually had a conversation with a person on Twitter about this, because he was a bit more optimistic than me. He brought up that, okay, so far they haven't asked for anything truly ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So should we trust them? Take them at their word and assume they stop? And I was saying, like, yeah, but we know where this is heading. We've seen this before so many times, which is why I'm reacting to this now.
Yeah, which you have to do, because they literally will not stop. And I don't know how else to explain this to people other than we've just seen this so many fucking times. You know, they begin. I mean, it's literally the Democrats with gun control. Was it Nancy Pelosi or someone like that? Literally said, like, people are going to think that this is, to get rid of these stocks for the shoulder or a push to get more gun control. She's like, yeah, we're just taking what we can get, and it's like that's exactly what they're doing. They're not happy when you make any changes. That's just a step towards the complete takeover of your hobby. That's the problem with these people. If it was just one thing and you knew it was actually like legit one thing, if it was a disabled person asking for a wheelchair ramp, okay, fine, yeah, that's where it stops. They're not going to be like, okay, now I want a disabled elevator to the roof or something. I don't know. This can like, yeah, great. I have I can get into the thing. But these people don't. They've got a set of principles that they're following until their logical conclusion, and that's completely counter to what you want. And what you presumably want is just to be left alone to play your game.
We've seen this happen so many goddamn times. The thing is, we know what's going to happen next. If you give these people an inch, they'll take a mile, and they will ask you why you didn't give them 2 miles.
Yes. And then they'll feel offended when you ask them to stop.
Because then we are, of course, harassing them, obviously.
Yeah. And you're misogynistic. Why do you hate women? Well, we don't need to change everything. Well, that's a hatred of women. Why wouldn't you do that if you didn't hate women? But anyway, let's carry on, because there's loads to go. So we also respectfully suggest that Games Workshop could do more to help encourage this. Why would they care? I think their best bet is to encourage themselves to build good fucking products and not bring out fucking Space Marines for Warhammer Fantasy.
It's this idea that if you give females better representation, more of them will play the game, which I really don't believe. It's such a patronizing idea to me. It's like, okay, a woman simply cannot play a game unless she is represented in the models. Why do men not have this problem? Is it just because they're the weaker gender again? Is that it?
It's also, I think, it's definitely that they think, or the feminists, I don't even know that they think this. They certainly say that, women don't play Warhammer 40,000 because there are too many men, male models or whatever, in there. And it's like, no, they don't play it because women generally don't tend to want to play war games. You can go to any space, like the sales of video games, mostly playing Total War is men.
Yeah, and even that, okay, if we say most of them are playing the game, and that's the main reason, okay, tough luck, I guess. I mean, what do you want us to do at that point? Ban men from playing the game so we can have more females?
Well, no, the thing is, like, they don't seem to understand that the women who are already playing 40k and playing Warhammer and whatnot, Total War and whatnot, the women playing those games are happy with those games as they are. They're not asking for them being changed. But it's not the appearance of the game. It's the sort of, the mechanisms. I guess most women don't want to fulfill the fantasy of being a general on a fantasy battlefield. And that's okay, that's okay. But, and to be fair, most men don't either, which is why most men don't play these things. It's only a subsection of men who are also geeks, who also have the time and inclination to play 40k.
Not to mention the vast amount of expendable income.
Absolutely. But the idea that, like, and we see this with anything that the SJWs go in and manipulate, they end up destroying, because they take away from the essence of what made it good. And I'm not saying that's like it being male. I'm saying is it's not being designed through a feminist lens that makes something good, because the feminist lens has got particular biases that are totally unnecessary and emphasizes things that are to most people utterly irrelevant. Like, nobody really gives a shit what sex the Space Marines are. I mean, do you see, like, I saw this said somewhere else. They're like, Space Marines are power fantasies for men. And it's like, holy shit, I don't consider Space Marines to be fucking human. You know, the Space Marines are not like a representative of me any more than a dreadnought is a representative of me, or, you know, a Land Raider or something. You know, I never considered myself like internalizing the experience of the Space Marine.
Now, what I would ask in that case is, okay, if it's such a horrible power fantasy, why do you want to insert yourself in this horrible power fantasy so badly?
Well, there is that. That's a good question.
Female Space Marines, but it's a horrible power fantasy. Why would you want to?
Well, yeah, but what I mean is, like, you know, I like the idea of making a 40K film, like, you know, that 40K animated film. I can't remember the name of it, but the idea of making one from the position of a Space Marine is fucking dumb, in my opinion, because the Space Marines are not really people. You know,
no, they're not.
They're trained, like, they're modified, genetically modified. They've got parts of their personality just missing altogether. They're trained exclusively to fight and die for the Emperor. You know, they're not people.
And they have a psychology that is almost entirely alien to the human mind.
Yes.
These are people that have trained themselves from practically their teenage years, quite literally, to put themselves and the Imperium above everything else. They don't give a shit about individuals. If they can, or except for a handful of chapters like the Salamanders, who actually give a fuck about civilians, but the vast majority of them will view the civilian populations as, at best, a hindrance in a war zone, and at worst, quote unquote, as bait.
That's pretty collectivist, but that's something that people forget. The Space Marines, unless feminists are compatible with this, the Space Marines are basically space Nazis, and they don't care about humans. They care about the survival of the race, don't they?
Yes, because they have a far higher goal. They concern themselves with the Imperium.
Yes. And if a single planet might be infected with chaos, well, we have many more planets.
That's why we invented cyclonic torpedoes.
So, yeah, again, I know we're getting into like the thick of the lore now, but it's just like the idea that that's a pertinent concern given the confines of the universe as designed is what I mean. You know, like the idea, oh, but the diversity. No, fucking bitch. You're being ruled by space Nazis. You know, get your 40K lenses on for a minute. Take off the feminist goggles, you know. That's for the love of God. But that's the reason feminism kills things, basically, is it goes in there and redesigns things through a lens that isn't devoted to the subject matter, but instead is devoted to feminism. And you'll end up with a situation with Marvel Comics, which, for if anyone who's not aware, the CEO of Marvel literally came out and said people don't want diversity.
It's like their argument is kind of an economical one. More women will play. I don't even think that's true, but no. Let's assume more feminists will play. Okay, let's have a look at Marvel then. How well are they doing recently?
Yeah, and it'll be exactly the same. But anyway, so we respectfully suggest that they could do more to help encourage this. Positive change for the better, as you say, because you've provided no proof. Non-sexualized representation of female soldiers. Well, why does it have to be non-sexualized? You know, now you have to put in the rules and regulations of feminism.
I don't even think they have a leg to stand on there. What the hell is sexualized in Warhammer 40K? The Sisters of Battle, in almost all the time, are scarred, ugly women. They are in battle. They're fucking hardened warriors, for God's sake. The most sexual part about them is apparently their boob plates. Like, okay. And?
Yeah, okay, yeah. But you're absolutely right. I mean, they are battle scarred, you know, in all of the pictures you see of them. It's not like it's not like in, like, you know, Mad Max Fury Road, where it's just these three women who look like they've been totally divorced from the environment of the world. You know, they're absolutely perfect in every way, and it's like, yeah, no, the Sisters of Battle are not like that.
Yeah, the Sisters of Battle are women in 40k. They're scarred. They're violent. They're fucking religious zealots.
Yeah, they're scary, man.
They're wearing pitch black combat armor from fucking head to toe. I'm just wondering, what kind of fetish do you have to sexualize that?
Well, I mean, yeah, hey, that's a good question. But like, this is the thing. It's like non-sexualized representation. Okay, that's just feminist dogma, really. But
Really?
fine. Okay, I mean, to be fair, they're probably going to get non-sexualized representation just because, as you say, the way 40k is. So you probably didn't need to specify that, as you're pointing out.
Hell, even Slanesh, like you brought up, okay.
Not
You
sexual.
can occasionally see a tit attached to a screaming demonic monstrosity. Again, I have to ask, what kind of fetish do you people have?
Yeah, maybe they spent too much time in Japan or something. So you got the what are the regular demons for Slanesh? Yeah, where you see the odd tits, but they've got these huge purple claws. It's like,
Personally, I would not put my penis within 15 million kilometers of that thing, but hey, that's just me.
Yeah, I have some standards. um, so yeah, so not female soldiers in the 40k range. For example, there are countless female soldiers in the Astra Militarum. Yet where are the models? Oh god. Okay.
Honestly, okay, fair point. I actually agree with this. Let's have Games Workshop give us a conversion sprue for Imperial Guardsmen. Why the fuck not?
I would be curious to know how many Astra Militarum models they actually sell a year. I mean, are these a popular faction? But
the Imperial Guard, decently so.
Okay. But yeah, okay, yeah, no, in principle, I don't disagree with that. It is also very widely agreed that the Sisters of Battle range should be more accessible.
Oh, definitely. Metal fucking Sisters of Battle models. Good God, no.
Oh, is it only metal ones?
Oh, yes, it's horrible. They've been teasing plastic sub models for fucking years.
I didn't know that. I might actually, if I was thinking about like, starting 40k, because there's a Games Workshop store in my town, and they, like Thursday nights or something. And I was thinking, I wouldn't mind doing that. But the thing is, I hate the plastic models. I hate them. One of the things I liked about the models was that they were heavy and lead. They felt weighty. They felt like it was something. And I just can't stand the plastic ones. But if the Sisters of Battle or metal, I might get them.
In that case, the subs are most definitively for you.
Right, okay. But yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, there's no reason they can't do a plastic version. As for female space marines, which I'm sure this will be a contentious part, just because the Emperor failed before, who's to say that a new genetic engineering technique could not be developed? Of course. Here we go. Now, like I said, all of the other things I can concede. They're just like contextual. They're just like, oh, we can't get plastic ones. Okay, well, why can't they make plastic ones? There's no particular reason. But now we have to start fucking with the law.
Yes, and it's the simplification. Oh, wait, you could just change them slightly. No. This is absurdly complicated. The Emperor, a being close to a god, only he managed to do this. And you're arguing that some random cunt somewhere could just snap his fingers and make female space marines. How exactly?
Yeah, you would need someone who is like, they would have to have like someone this amazing can't just exist in the universe without already existing in the universe. That's what I think they fail to understand. It's like someone this capable, the only other person to do it is the Emperor, and now he's on life support. So that person would be, they would probably have much more important things to do than making half of the Space Marines female.
Probably. No, that is entirely correct. The Emperor is a singular being. There's nothing like him in the galaxy.
Yes. And that's the point. Now suddenly, but yeah, fuck your law. Fuck and that ruins the prestige of the Emperor.
Somebody suddenly did what he did. His greatest achievement. Some random mechanicus dude just did the same. Okay, well that's fine, I guess.
Why did he do it, Arch? Why did he want to make half of the Space Marines female? Oh, he just happened to also be a feminist. Oh, that's fucking likely.
And it's also just, it's a hard fluff reason why they can't be female. Now, one of the funny things is they brought up that they claim they have a geneticist who claims this is not the case.
We'll get to that, actually. It's just there, so we'll get to that in a second. We insist upon respectful behavior here. We will not allow discriminatory or derogatory language regarding person's gender. And here's the control.
Friendly space, as long as you obey by our rules.
Yeah. Look at, we want you to, I mean, they are like fucking clockwork. They can't even help this, right? They've got, initial demand, actual like reasonable thing, like, hey, we could get these plastic models, actually reasonable, right? And then everyone has to obey us. No, get fucked. No one has to obey you. You fucking awful people. But right, okay, let's go to the geneticist. So, by a friend of ours, a geneticist who wishes to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. If you have any quarrel with the scientific explanations here, blah, right, okay. So, short answer for why there are no female space marines has nothing to do with biology in a science fantasy setting, and everything to do with the fact that space marines are male power fantasies. Oh, this is what I was reading, in fact. I disagree. And I don't think space marines are male power fantasies, any more than Tyranids are male power fantasies, or
I mean, this proved this at its basis is like he doesn't have an argument. His argument is it's science fantasy. Okay, yes, but it's internally consistent in the universe it is created in.
Yes.
And that is what I care about. In this universe, they are to create a space marine, you are rewriting a person on the genetic level. That is what it says in the universe. I don't give a shit then about you going, oh, but it's just fantasy. Okay, in that case, give us fucking male sisters of battle, you little bastard.
Yeah. That's literally something they get to as well, actually. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you. It has to be internally consistent. And this is another thing. Like, if you're going to break the laws of science, the sort of laws of science, you have to do it in a way that actually makes sense as well. Just saying just for reasons isn't good enough. Like you're saying, it's got to be internally consistent. That's what makes a good universe, is when things are predictable.
And 40K goes to great lengths on keeping things internally consistent and realistic within the universe. It's one of the staples of the entire goddamn setting.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's so popular. I think literally any franchise that keeps their own rules internally consistent becomes more popular because of that. People like to be able to, explain something in a way that each other can actually recognize the boundaries of. I certainly
definitely.
But anyway, the authors weren't really thinking about it. They just came up with two ways to justify why male-only Space Marines later on. Well, I assume it's just because you're going to choose the most meritocratic genetic framework for what you're going to turn into superhuman killing machines. And it would make more sense to start with men rather than women to do that.
Not to mention, the authors probably didn't think about it. Then why did they write a bunch of in-depth lore on precisely how to create a Space Marine and why they can't be female?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah, they didn't really thinking about it. Yeah, obviously they were. They were thinking about the most powerful form of human and turning that into an like new kind of human. It's like, again, I love this as well. They weren't really thinking about it. You have to, I mean, like, how many hands do you think worked on this? I'm sure they absolutely did think about all of this.
I'm pretty sure they did.
So anyway, 40K is a space fantasy setting where literally anything has been shown to go. Well,
bullshit. Yeah, again, it's fucking horseshit. Warhammer 40K is an extremely consistent universe. Even chaos, the so-called magic force in 40K, is codified and acts by a series of rules. I hate this misrepresentation of 40K. It's just a big stupid universe. No, it's actually incredibly deep and intricate in what it does.
I bet that comes from the fact that they don't really understand it.
Oh, unquestionably.
Because they don't really get into it. Because they're not really 40K players first, they're feminists first. Which is why they have it first in their fucking name on their page.
That's a good point. Feminist 40K.
Yeah, it's feminist first. Not 40K feminists. No. Feminist 40K. Oh, good. But, nah. Anyone saying no female Space Marine could science is a whiny bitch. That's not an argument. That's just your opinion on what they're like.
Yep.
For anyone wanting the full version of my takedown of the science later, okay. Creating a Space Marine is a complex process that involves genetic modification, multiple transplants of non-compatible organs, and rigorous psychiatric conditioning. On the genetic modification front, any XY individual is at high risk of fatal mutation reaction to genetic modding because the Y chromosome is a stubby, useless little bastard. What do you have against Y chromosomes?
It's remarkably sexist, isn't it?
It's just weirdly prejudicial.
But hell,
a Y chromosome, it just is what it is.
this is kind of the part of the point as well. The Emperor utilizes a lot of the junk that exists in Y chromosomes to create Space Marines. It's kind of important.
Oh, well then, that does seem important. I didn't know that. So XX is far more resilient. XO people are perfectly healthy, and a YO fetus is not going to make it. Yeah, but that's at the stage of conception.
And this is where a lot of people have been questioning whether or not this geneticist actually exists, because it turns out that females with single X chromosomes are not at all perfectly healthy. That's called Turner syndrome.
Well, I was actually going to get to that next. I was literally going to say, I find it unlikely that someone missing a chromosome is perfectly healthy. But thank you for, was it Turner syndrome?
Yes. It comes with a range of complications: heart defects, diabetes, low thyroid hormones, various defects on limbs. It's not perfectly healthy.
I just Googled. That wasn't very nice. Yeah, that's not perfectly healthy, you lunatic. So in conclusion, XX Adeptus Astartes make better candidates from a purely scientific point of view. Oh, yeah, that was it. It was the mutations after the genetic engineering that they were worried about. That was the end goal. What we want is genetically pure people, not people who are giants, who are almost immune to bullets, and who can regenerate arms and whatnot. No, we weren't arguing for all that. We were going to make sure the majority of them succeeded in becoming an end product. Fucking, that's so stupid.
Which is another thing the Space Marines barely care about. Hell, the Space Wolves even go out of their way to make the process more unstable by introducing the Canis Helix.
This is amazing. It's just like, I love the idea of diverse and inclusive Space Marines. It's just like imagine the Space Marines' #1 goal is and priority is diversity.
Like, Brother Chaplain, we've figured out a way to make bigger and better Space Marines. Yes, brother, but are they diverse?
Well, it's like, it's like, Captain, we found a chaos outbreak on one of our planets, and the captain's just like, well, what kind of chaos is it? It's Slanesh, sir. It's like, well, that's too diverse. We can't exterminatus this planet. That would be racist.
If anything, they have enriched the local society.
Yes, exactly. We should accept chaos into our societies. Why? What are you, a bigot? You chaos phobe? How dare you? Right, I'm getting you fired. It's like, these people would destroy everything. Oh God, we've already made chaos into Islam. So anyway, yeah, the scientific point of view, that's horseshit. But anyway, also, what part of recruited from an irradiated hellscape hive gang death world between the ages of 11 and 16 makes you think these guys are anywhere near peak physical condition? In the case of the fluff, a lot of chapters recruits will likely be malnourished as all hell, already have a boatload of injuries, and be somewhat messed up. Well, I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They recruit from these places are not going to be any better.
I don't think they're going to be worse. They recruit from these worlds specifically because 0.1% of the population is not malnourished, is not beat up, because they are natural-born killers and survivors, and that is what the Space Marines want.
Right. So, and they're going to start modifying them anyway. So So they're looking for a psychological condition there.
Yeah, they are looking for the most brutal and vicious, tough, badass motherfuckers on the planet. They don't care that there's 0.1% of the population. That's what they need.
Individuals, not women, XX individuals, are on average way more resilient to blood loss than men. I tell you, I'm going to check that fact. Significantly less prone to heart attacks prior to the menopause.
I actually did check up this. Yes, they are. They are slightly less susceptible to mass bleeding, for example. But here's the thing. We are talking about a very small difference here. And it would make absolutely no difference whatsoever in the genetic modification of a Space Marine. Hell, it doesn't even matter in normal fucking science. We have pills for this.
But even then, okay, that's a pretty good argument, sending women to the front line. I think that maybe all of our wars should be fought by women because they're more resilient to blood loss than men.
Oh, yes. I've also made this argument because they made a post saying that maybe we should stop sending men to war. And I'm like, yeah. No, I'll stay home next World War.
Did you know that women are less prone to heart attacks before their menopause as well?
And they bleed slower. Throw them at the fucking machine guns. Jesus.
Exactly. Like, yes, this is clearly the perfect soldier. I don't need to know any of the other information about this person. Here's 50 pounds of equipment. Go. So you fucking what? I mean, what do you? Okay, yeah, they're less prone to heart attacks, but to be honest with you, the bullets are a much bigger problem. Like, the battlefield's full of them, and they're flying really fast. There aren't many heart attacks. Not many of our Space Marines died because of heart attacks. But why is that last one relevant? Do tell me. Space Marines clot virtually instantly, even from arterial wounds. Then who gives a fuck who bleeds more? You know, oh, they're more resilient to blood loss. Yeah, but they just clot virtually instantly anyway. So, whatever. Now that means there's a very, very high risk of things like deep vein thrombosis. Oh, right, okay.
I'm sure the Emperor didn't think about that when he created fucking superhumans that can literally fucking live in the harshest environments imaginable. I'm sure he was like, oh, but fuck, I'm stumped by the deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, he was bleeding out because his arm was blown off, but now he's just getting deep vein thrombosis.
I mean, I have created literally an immortal fucking individual, but that damn deep vein, god damn it. It's a common problem amongst Primarchs, don't you know?
For anyone who doesn't know, that basically means they've got veiny and swollen legs.
Rogal Dorn suffered from that a lot. He had to have fucking foot belts and shit.
He had quite severe eczema on his forearms as well, which is something people didn't know. Sanguinus had alopecia.
He probably did. And he was also a bit albino, honestly. Not as bad as Kurt, but, you know.
Yeah, that's true. These are all completely factual things we're telling you. So I just can't go for the lunacy of this. Like, the dudes are getting shot at. So yeah, but he's at low risk of a heart attack. Okay. So an excess individual is going to be a really great starting place from the beginning, because holy crap, that basic bioresilience that XY simply doesn't match. Yeah, but if we're talking about like endurance or muscle mass and things like that, then we really see a gargantuan gap.
That is unfortunate. But see, he has a brilliant solution. He'll balance this with testosterone levels.
Oh, yeah, he gets there just here, doesn't it?
Yes.
And just by upping an XX individual's testosterone levels, you can bridge the muscle gain difficulties issues fairly easily. So why wouldn't we just start with men, though?
Details. But I haven't checked that out. Okay, can you do this? Yes. If you took a baby, basically, and started them on hormone treatments from the time they were born, you would eventually end up with a woman that looks precisely like a man.
Amazing. Science can do anything. At which
point, I'm like, okay, this sounds like a lot of hassle to create our space for super soldiers, to be honest.
Yeah, but
why
with
can't we just continue?
But diversity and representation. We need women who look exactly like men to be half of our Space Marines. For some reason. Because feminism, okay?
The Space Marines are going to pick a candidate like, well, brother, this one's slower and weaker than the others, but we need to meet our diversity quotas, start the hormone treatments.
It's only the existence of mankind that's at stake, Arch. Stop being a bigot.
Oh, what's another, 10, 20 years thrown onto the construction period? It's fine. It's in the name of diversity.
What happens when one of them gets pregnant?
I don't want to fucking think about that.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but it's not going to be pretty. Holy shit.
Not to mention, there has actually been a point brought up as well that the Emperor was not stupid. The Emperor was always thinking of creating, a single gender. And yes. Malkador joked about this, like, I said he should have made them sisters. And you think about this. The Emperor's not stupid. He clearly didn't want his super soldiers to be able to breed either.
That's true. That's a good point. In fact, I would have thought they would probably be castrated chemically in some way anyway.
We do not actually know. Space Marine have Winkies.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the few mysteries of 40k.
That is. Someone in the chat put #feminids, which is fucking amazing, and we should use
#feminids.
That is just the best. So yeah, if anyone, I do actually have access to Twitter. So if anyone has got any good shops, do put them on #feminids, and I'll keep an eye out for that, because that's amazing. Right, so Yeah, so in conclusion, the second in conclusion, actually, but science says only men can be space marines is total fucking bullshit. The argument that indicates a depressing lack of understanding of just how complex biology actually is. Check your privilege. I can only really talk about this with a reasonable level of expertise on a genetic level, but from my wider readings on the topic of biology, hormones also have an extremely dramatic effect and appear to at times override everything else going. So, even ignoring the genetic stuff, hormone therapy is a very, very powerful tool, but then it would just be easier to start with only men. Why
It
wouldn't
would
they?
be, but details.
Exactly. It's not like how can we make half of our space marines women? It's how can we make as many space marines as possible? And the easiest way would be to have only men.
Yes, but it's a fantasy universe. Why can't we just break the lore and replace it with something more diverse? Like, no,
But
mine.
have you considered that the space marines might actually also be feminist? No, they're fascists.
Space Marine might. Oh yes, I love the idea of a Space Marine in his fucking meditation cell, just pondering the question of feminism.
You know what we need to overthrow? The Emperor patriarchy.
The patriarchy.
It's
The
like, no.
patriarchy is holding us back, brothers.
Yeah, 40k is the only thing holding mankind on the face of the universe. You know, like the idea of like being anti-hierarchical in the Warhammer universe is insane.
Well, at least the Inquisition will have something to do with you, I guess.
Precisely. You would be killed so fucking quickly. Like, imagine if you were just like, you know what we should all do? Tear down the Emperor.
Well, that's heretical.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what I mean. It's like to get to the point of being like, an extreme lefty where you're like, yeah, I don't like hierarchy, I don't like order, I don't like organization, I think everyone should be the same. It's like, well, that is really not the credo of the Imperium. That's the total opposite. They are like as hierarchically fascist as you can imagine.
Exactly.
But yeah, so they as you can probably see on the screen, this post is what kind of it made us aware to this. We knew that we would enrage Arch Warhammer by opening up a discussion about representation in 40k's model range. Arch, can you not control your rage?
Oh, I was raging. I was sitting there laughing my ass off, which they apparently. Well, he's angry.
Wow, the rage. But let's not talk about what makes him angry for a moment. Let's talk about what doesn't make him angry. Oh, I can feel a character assassination coming on here. A few years ago, a man by the name of Elliot Roger went on a killing spree. He specifically Jesus. He specifically targeted women, except he managed to kill more men than women, trying to vent his rage over the fact they weren't romantically interested in him. His motives may have been slightly different to that of, say, an ISIS gunman.
Slightly.
Jeez, I love that they've got Elliot Roger and ISIS after bringing you up. That's how lucky you are, right? But the effect was the same: indiscriminate mass murder. One of the reactions to the mass murder came from a notorious online bigot known as Sargon of Akkad. He excused Elliot's actions and blamed them on women and feminism. That is sociologically proven, ladies and gentlemen, 100%. Okay, that is a steel man of the video I made on it. I wasn't saying that Elliot is just a man, and so if there are lots of men killing themselves and going on killing sprees, maybe we should talk about them in the context of them being men in the wider society. No. Elliot Roger did nothing wrong. That's literally what they think I thought. Needless to say, I didn't.
But that is a minor detail, Sargon.
Yeah, but what relevance does that have? I am basically I may as well change my profile picture to Elliot Roger. He was a pretty great guy, he was really well adjusted. And if the feminists would just leave everyone alone, then maybe we'd have to stop going on killing sprees. Wouldn't have to go murder everyone, is all we're saying. I mean, that's literally what they think I think, which is like, oh my god, it's insane, isn't it?
And by sheer proximity, I too have been corrupted by the Sargon.
Well, it's not sheer proximity. You did this to yourself. Because what does this have to do with anything, you ask? Simple. Arch Warhammer has a political YouTube channel as well, which is known for a conversation where they propose discriminatory and draconian policies towards Muslims. His guest for this discussion was Sargon of Akkad. Yeah, exactly. That's it, Arch. Convicted thought criminal. You have had a wrong think in your time, and this is unfortunately consigning you to the realm of arch misogynist Warhammer. That is how you will be known from now on.
Now, I could, of course, be wrong on this, since, I am at best peripherally connected to my own YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. But I seem to remember that the topic for this was discussing the question of whether or not any of these measures might be necessary.
Mm-hmm. And I do remember, things like the hijab bans and stuff like that. We were against these things because they don't do anything. All they do is make people feel persecuted, and they don't solve any problems. Oh well, doesn't matter. No sort of nuanced discussion, Arch. You are now an Islamophobe and a misogynist, and
yes.
Anything else and Elliot Rodgers' BFF.
Of course. I do love the fact, though, because, yes, I proposed discriminatory and draconian policies towards Muslim. I did. And I said all the while doing it, I don't want to do this, but we are heading in this direction, which is why we need to solve the problem before we get to this stage.
It won't even be us doing it. All we're saying is, look, if you keep going down this road, this is what you're going to end up with.
It's the inevitable consequence. Which is why you should probably turn around now before we have to start doing this shit. I mean, you don't fucking want to, for God's sake.
Yeah, but it's, are they not afraid of the rise of the right wing? Because in Europe, the right wing is pretty fucking right, when it comes to these things. And it's like, okay. I mean, look at Gert Walders' fucking manifesto, man. It was really fucking full on.
They don't understand, because they can't do anything wrong. They do not understand that the right might, in some cases, have legitimate complaints. And so they answer by further extremities. And then they look at the population in the countries voting more and more to the right, and they go, well, we just don't know where all these fucking racists are coming from.
Yeah, and it's scary, to be honest. But literally, anyone talking about this from a more sort of neutral or liberal position, it's like, right, okay, they propose discriminating draconian. So we're terrorist sympathizers. We're pro genocide. We all obviously we hate women. This is pretty fucking awful. This is as bad as you could possibly represent it to be. You are literally Hitler.
This is a perfect representation of the fact that these people have ideological blinkers on, that they can't see themselves as doing anything wrong, because they look at a discussion where we are talking about what is probably going to happen if it continues this way, while constantly saying we don't want this to happen, as us arguing for that very thing. They have absolutely no nuance. They see and hear whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that anyone is in favor of any kind of ethnic cleansing is weird. The idea that they think that we think it's a good thing for that to have to happen, or to inevitably happen. Not even that, it's not what we want that we're talking about here. It's the course of history. They must think they're outside of it or something. That's arrogant, isn't it? Jesus.
They are incapable of understanding, even on a basic level, the argumentation of their opposition, which is why they arrived at the conclusion that we were actually arguing for these measures.
And this was the thing with Elliot Rodger. I'm just like, look, you can sit there and say he's all these kind of things, but he was at the end of the day just a human. And this is the thing the left loves to do. Do you remember, was it Jimmy Fallon rubbed Donald Trump's hair? And they literally complained, you're humanizing him. It's like, he is a human. He is a human. And if you're complaining about humanizing him, then what are you saying? You are de facto dehumanizing him.
Yeah, and of course they are. They've been doing this for ages, attempting to dehumanize their opposition, because in their minds, I don't think we are human. I mean, again, you're a terrorist sympathizer.
Yeah, who loves Elliot Rodger and think he does nothing wrong. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
The worst thing we've said about them here is essentially that they're feminists.
Yes, that's an accurate representation of how they present themselves.
Yes, that's how far we've gone in insulting them. and humorously comparing them to Tyranids. What is their first line of defense? Oh, they're terrorist sympathizers and literally Hitler. Well, that escalated quickly.
I tell you what, now given how we're being treated here, we definitely need to use the term feminids for these people. This. I'm so fucking sorry, but you've got to stop with the labels if you don't like labels. Let's say So there you have it. If you talk about representation in the tabletop game, Arch will be absolutely furious with you. But if you sympathize with and make excuse for mass murders, no problem. He'll invite you into a channel for a friendly chat. Yeah, that's how it works. That's totally fucking okay sign. Couldn't be more accurate if you tried.
It is a completely accurate representation of my position, which is why I keep asking for plastic Sisters of Battle and Imperial Guard.
Yeah, how dare you? But I love some of the comments as well. But no, so I did see some comments who were actually like, I didn't see that, but maybe they've removed them.
I have been told over the Twitter that they are currently on a bit of a blocking and deleting spree.
Clearly,
nobody's fucking.
Oh, in fact, look here, we're having a nice clean out. I cast Banhammer. Yeah, that's amazing. Just and this is why feminists destroy everything. If you ban people who disagree with you, well, there we go. I mean, you end up with an absolutely tiny little vestigial community, and if you give these people control of your fucking space, they ruin it.
Yep. And I love the fact, like, oh, we're for a more inclusive and friendly community. I cast Banhammer.
Yeah.
Fucking clap, boy.
You're gonna get purged.
Slow clap.
Here's someone else defending Elliot Rogers. Elliot Rogers was a lot of bad things and inexcusable. However, he wasn't by definition a terrorist.
He was not. That is true.
Dun, dun, dun. Would you make it feel better if I said mass murder sympathizer? It's like, well, I'm not even a mass murder sympathizer, but I do like understanding why things happen.
I mean, technically speaking, it'd be slightly more correct.
Well, I guess.
At least you got the Elliot Roger part correct,
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not even like, and the thing is, these are the people like, oh, don't you have any empathy? It's okay, yeah, but like, I'd like to have empathy for people who do dangerous things. So I understand why they do the dangerous things, and so maybe if I see someone else doing the same things, I can, intervene. I could go to the authorities and say, look, I think this person's planning something or something like that. Whatever. If you don't understand these people who are committing crimes, how can you ever hope to stop them?
Well, they don't want to stop these crimes because it seems to be what they're feeding off.
Pretty much.
And also, by the way, I had a person trying to open dialogue between myself and them, and I immediately said, yeah, sure, bring them on. I'll fucking take them on the channel. I'll talk to them, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to decline the invitation because I attacked them first, apparently.
Oh, really?
Now, I have, of course, a tweet dated before I made my video. Everybody's favorite whiny broflake #Arch Warhammer.
Oh, really?
It's from September.
Can you send me a link? I'll put it up on the screen so people can see it.
Of course.
Thank you.
So I opened hostilities just the same way as Poland invaded Germany in World War II.
Arch, how dare you sit there and be an obvious... Oh, yes. 19th of September. Arch, how dare you? How very dare you?
Indeed. I opened communications in a toxic manner, as you can clearly see.
See, you do usually self-identify as whiny broflake, though, don't you? So, that's how you could, you say, hi, I'm Arch, I'm a whiny broflake, how are you?
Of course.
It's not in any way demeaning or degrading.
But hey, Feminist 40k, even after you launching the first shot and character assassinating me, calling me Hitler, etc., I'm still willing to talk to you.
That's because you're right, Arch. That's why.
Oh, I saw a, I think it was in the declining, what was it? Oh, yes, here it is. I don't get why people have such a hate bone for Arch. He's actually open for discussion. You could, actually go on his channel and prove he's all the things you say. Andy Kennedy. No, he isn't open to discussion unless it conforms to very privileged standards.
Oh.
I'll send it over. Now, I would, of course, like to ask. Oh, wait, no, this is right.
Yeah,
This one.
your discussion has privileged standards.
Yes, I have very privileged standards. Only, you know, middling, fat English people with a handsome beard, a little bit of white in it. They're got to be men, obviously. I'll take a gypsy occasionally, but
That's pretty privileged, I've got to say. If you
I
can just
have
turn
strict
down
standards.
like that, that's no, but seriously, like it's. I love it. It's anything to not have to talk to you. If you go, like, Arch Warhammer, he's basically Satan, so we don't have to ever talk to this guy, even though this guy's the person we have a problem with. So we're just going to sit here and spend all of our time attacking his character. I mean, they're not even attacking your work. They don't care. Your work could be amazing for as far as they know. They obviously don't watch it, but they don't care about you. They don't care about your work. They don't care about what you do. But I love this. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the Warhammer 40,000 community team for taking steps to ban abusive players from their Facebook page. There we go. They've already started destroying the community. This is them slowly chipping away point by point. Hey, this person offended me. Ban them. Ban them. Ban them. Ban them. And great.
And this is why I'm already saying that we should start treating this like an SJW attack, because they seem to be displaying every single hallmark of that particular problem.
Well, they're literally explaining it. It was entirely predictable that our post about representation would be met with temper tantrums from the very same people who make sexist jokes and engage in online harassment of women. You don't know that. You don't know who was fucking banned. You don't know who's doing these things. You don't know who these people are. You don't know, and you don't even care what their position is. But we're just going to label them as bad people. Get out. You're all bad. None of you are pure. None of you. It's literally like a little inquisition.
Yep.
And they knew it was going to happen, and it is definitely an SJW incursion into Warhammer.
It's beautiful. Like I said, I'd talk to them. I'm happy to talk to them, but I'm toxic, so they can't. It's not okay. Was there any scenario in which you would open a dialogue? I know there isn't, but anything.
I like some of these comments though. It's like, I have a different opinion equals harassment.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, is like.
And I like their answer too. Screaming sexist and racial abuse at strangers is harassment. Okay, who the fuck is doing this?
Yeah, you're the ones doing this, you freaks. White men are the problem. This is not a sexist or racist statement. Don't be offended that I've called you the problem. Who, what, the majority players of this game? Yeah, you're all the problem. Jesus Christ. Fucking, these people are literally just scum. Oh, we've got the virtue signaling fucking verifieds, though.
Yep.
Oh, of course. Certain patches of 40k them are as open-minded and eloquent as usual about female minis in the setting they understand perfectly. Yeah. SJWs ruin everything. Yes, you do. You literally do. You are an absolute cancer.
As the usual straw man, like, oh, they're arguing against more female minis. No, we're arguing against the SJW part.
Yeah, I mean, no, literally. No, they were asking to change the law. No one's saying having female minis is a bad thing. They're saying changing the law to fit feminist standards is a bad thing. And look at this. It's all fucking men, isn't it? Like, Vincent Daniels, Nathan Fluger, Joel Eidenberg, Rowan, Al Macker, Nicholas. Where are the women liking these things? Chris Hillard, Peter Brink, Scott Taylor. Come on, where are the chicks? Where are all the chicks? It's all fucking men. It's all a bunch of bitchy, whiny SJW feminist men, just like in the atheist community.
See, this is the reverse of Elliot Rodgers. Instead of going out shooting people because they can't get laid, they virtue signal on Facebook because they can't get laid.
Elliot Rodgers probably was a male feminist. Oh, I mean, like this guy says, I'm a misogynist. I hate women. But I don't sit there going, women, I deserve to be liked by women. Oh yeah, I'm a misogynist, I hate women. Yeah. So I don't expect women to like me. I've got no sense of entitlement when it comes to women under their logic. But someone like Elliot Rodgers could quite easily have been a male feminist. Grew up in California, probably a lefty. We should check that he was a fan of the Young Turks. Fucking hell! If I can pin Elliot Rodgers as a male feminist for this feminist video, I'm fucking doing it.
Oh heavens!
Oh, they could bathe in it. If I swear to God, if anyone could find anything that shows Elliot Rodgers to be a male feminist, I want it. But But I love this. Just like, isn't it strange that there's misogynist players amongst the 40K community, the ones who make sexist jokes, occasionally outright harass female players? Yeah, okay, male feminists, calm down, and fly into an uncontrollable rage when the better representation is discussed. Isn't it strange that they are usually the quickest saying they're the real 40K fans? Well, they're the ones who are concerned with the integrity of the law of the game. So yeah.
It's also this like fly into an uncontrollable rage. Who? I literally made a video laughing at you fuckers.
And let's be honest, we've seen the uncontrollable rage of the SJW plenty of times.
It's again, it's the dehumanization. Like, I swear to God, these people think we are not human. It's like, oh, they're just angry animals. They can't control themselves. Like, no. What the fuck is wrong with you?
But again, ironically, it's projection. I mean, look at Trigglypuff. Look at fucking, look at the triggered memes going around. And they're the ones who are furious. Everyone else is pretty relaxed.
Ah, Trigglypuff. That was a kawaii little creature.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's always nice to see one in the wild, I have to say. I experienced one at Berkeley. It was very amusing. And the thing is, if you just kind of smile a little bit, they get really angry. But right, okay, so I need to go and get a drink because I'm gagging. But we can, if you want to give me 5 minutes, we can go through some super chats and anything else that we can find. I'm sure there are other feminist 40K things that we probably document, if that's cool with you.
Yes, sure, that'd be awesome.
Right, okay, folks, I'll be back in 5.
Right. Can I actually read some of this chat if it would stop scrolling so goddamn quickly? That'd be useful. Let's see. Anything interesting over here? Marvel is fucked. Yes, probably. 100% of California are leftists. Again, if anybody could find something suggesting that Elliot Rodger was a feminist, that would be hilarious. Oh, God. Elliot Rodgers was a feminist. Oh, God. Oh, please, God. If there's any justice in the world, I would love to just link that back to them. That would be wonderfully amusing. Love you, Arch. Oh, thank you. Entertain us, Arch. I'm trying, but I'm not that good on the spot here. I'm not playing a game, not doing anything interesting. I'm literally just reading chat. It's hard to be entertaining. Why have you stopped making 40K lore videos? Have I? I wasn't aware. I'm pretty sure I'm still doing it every Friday, but hey. Relatively certain. Anyways, I did the Mordian Iron Guard recently. I think that's 40K. You are the Nordic morally grey. That would be a good thing. Probably. Who's going to be the next Horus of the feminists? I don't think... I think that would be a disservice to Horus, because you gotta remember, Horus at least did a lot of awesome shit before he turned crazy. I mean, that fucking conquered planets. The feminists have conquered what? A local Starbucks, at best? Jesus. See, notice me, Arch. You really noticed. They already ruined VTM. Don't know what that is. Check out. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade. Oh God, I love Vampire the Masquerade. I swear to God, Vampire the Masquerade, best goddamn RPG ever fucking created. Despite the fact that it was buggy as all shit. Oh, the infamous elevator. Every time you took the elevator up to talk to Crazy Twin, or well, Crazy Twin chick, that's 2 personalities, you essentially flipped a coin. You had a 50-50 chance of the elevator bugging out and not taking you back down again. It was fucking wonderful. Hell, even in the fixed community patch version, that still occasionally happens. Ah, Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. Good God, that was a good game. Ah, we need a remake. I mean, fuck all of these other silly-ass remakes. Remake Vampire the Masquerade. Oh, by the way, I have heard some sneaky little rumors that there is a White Wolf setting game in production in that same universe. And I've also heard some sneaky little rumors that it might have something to do with Bloodlines. Ooh, God, I would kickstart that like there was no fucking tomorrow. Just a pure graphical upgrade. No changes. Hell, I'll even take the clunky-ass combat system. Just graphical upgrades. Happily pay for that. Let's see, anything else? Oh. Archwan, what's the beef between you and Ego Queen? I genuinely don't fucking know. I've been told I have a beef with Ego Queen, but I can't say that I'm aware of any such beef, so you'd have to ask her, I guess. I mean, she played in my RP for a while before getting into a rather ridiculous altercation with my pet Mexican, which was ridiculous to put it fucking bluntly, so I genuinely do not know. The feminists have conquered media and the education institution and are trying to destroy marriage. Yes, they've been trying that for a while because marriage is, of course, oppressive, obviously enough. System Shock needs its remake. Okay, fine. I'll give you System Shock, okay? System Shock was pretty fucking good, everything considered. So yes, it also does deserve a remake. Archie Snow Nigger. Well, yes. Close enough. KOTOR. Nice of the older Republics. You know, unfortunately, I did not play Knights of the Old Republic when it first came out. I tried playing it recently, but I am a dirty, filthy graphics whore, okay? I really am. I get super annoyed if the game is not at least kind of up to graphical standards, unless I played it back in the day. Like, I'm fine with Vampire Bloodlines, for example, but I could not play Knights of the Old Republic, and it's actually really sad. It is genuinely terrible. But such is the tragedy. Say nigger. Okay, I read that before I actually saw the wording, but I have actually no problem with the word. It is a word. A word only means anything in context, which is something that most people should possibly understand. Let's see. Would just like to see them ported to a working version of the Source engine. That might work. I mean, wasn't Vampire the Masquerade built in some kind of... Was it the same Source engine, though? Because it was some kind of Steam bullshitty thing, wasn't it? Or was that... This was back in the day when you had the stupid Steam overlay. Like what you... was it? Can't I have to check it up now. Engine. Let's see. Was it... Blah, 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 blah. Engine error. Yes. Oh, God, that game was... the bugs were through the goddamn bloody roof. Source, yes, it was. Okay, you're right. Yeah, Source engine. Yeah, that would work. Just upgrading into the latest Source engine would at the very least help, certainly. What do you think of the new World of Darkness / Chronicles of Darkness compared to the old? I have not looked into it. I used to be into the old World of Darkness, but I have not checked out the new, so I don't know. I don't know what they've changed. I have heard some rumors from a guy I know that is into it that he doesn't like it, but I couldn't really tell you much. Let's see. Anything else interesting? Skaven do not exist. Oh, that's obvious. I mean, what? Ratmen in the fucking sewers? What is wrong with you? Jesus. I hate the fact that the chat window suddenly scrolls like an ass ton once I just kind of scroll a little bit down. Where was I? I've completely lost track of where I was. Arch, can Ahriman restore the 1,000 Suns? Well, he seems to believe so. Then again, Daddy Magnus is also threatening him with infinite and violent etheric rape if he does not. See, that's why I'm so annoyed by Ahriman's treatment in the Gathering Storm books, because they portray Ahriman as purely evil. I don't think he's evil. I think he is genuinely want to restore the 1,000 Suns, to the point where plot device lady randomly resurrects a couple of 1,000 Suns and throws them off in the webway. What does Ahriman do? He fucking leaps after them, despite the fact that he undoubtedly knows that if he goes in there, he's probably lost for all eternity. That's not the actions of an evil individual. That is not the actions of a selfish individual. He wants to restore his battle brothers, is my opinion. And I really like that moral ambiguity English of the character. He is perfectly willing to kill thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people to get his battle brothers back. Now, you could argue that's an evil act, but at the same time, it's coming from a place of love. which shows you how even the purest of emotions can be corrupted. That's the beauty of 40k. And they decided to try and fuck with it. Makes me angry. Planescape Torment. Yes, that's also pretty damn good. It did get a remaster recently, which I have been playing. Not graphically, but a little bit of user interface and stuff like that, because, yeah, playing some of those old games with the old UI, they can hurt. I've recently replayed Red Alert 2, and God, not having attack move. Oh, fucking Jesus, that's painful. God, it's so annoying. You're so used to using attack move, and now suddenly I have to individually click the enemy units to kill them. You should play EVE Online, huh? I do not have fucking time. Are you fucking kidding me? EVE Online is literally a second goddamn job. No, thank you. Let's see. Early source end, yeah, I found that. Say Sargon is a cuck. Is he? Is he? Conspiracy theory. Has anyone actually checked out, has anyone camped outside his window at night or something and confirmed this? Because you never know.
What don't we know?
Whether or not you're a cuck, Sargon.
Whether I'm a cuck? Oh, constantly.
Yes, and I was asking for evidence if they had pictures.
No, don't encourage people to go and hang around the bushes outside my house.
but
Please.
It'll be a good sign of you being famous.
Oh, I don't want to be famous.
All the proper famous people are people hiding in their bushes.
I don't want to be proper famous then. So Apollo 536 says, do you think Games Workshop will go the route of companies like Marvel? Yes.
I think there's a decided danger of that happening. Because a lot of these companies will simply see these suggestions from the feminists and say, well, this sounds all right. And if they don't understand the context of feminism and the history of feminism, then it does. It sounds
I think it's worse than that, actually. I think it's not it's not that it's not within their power to do or anything. It's the fear of a public backlash is what I think they're worried about most. I think companies concede to most of this out of fear that a bunch of activists are going to make a big deal out of it.
Oh, definitely. But the thing is also, though, this is the short-sightedness of these companies. They will imagine, okay, there could be an outrage if we don't respond to this in a correct manner. But here's the thing. The moment such a company begins surrendering, they're fucked.
Absolutely. Now, they have to resist at the beginning or not at all, as far as I've seen. I've never seen someone capitulate and then try and grow their balls back later.
Yeah,
because
and
once you've
they
agreed
will pounce.
Yeah,
any sign of weakness, they will fucking jump on you.
Yeah, absolutely. The absolute ruthlessness of these communities is truly scary. I mean, they didn't even they didn't say Sargon was a misogynist. They called me a terrorist sympathizer. Say you don't like women, okay, but that's not like you've murdered someone. Terrorist sympathizer absolutely is. The intensity of the label is so much greater. It's just like, wow, they've just gone straight for that. These are truly radical people. But better than black disabled female Jewish Nazi soldiers with deep vein thrombosis in the new historically accurate World War II Call of Duty game. I've been enjoying the controversy around that, I have to say.
Yeah. And it's also like these people.
Yeah.
Actually, here, I'll give you one more little post for you to bring up, because this one's rather spicy, shall we say.
Go on then.
Here, read this one.
I love this. This is always a classic. Hang on, I'll screen share so people can see it. This is just my favorite thing in the world from this day.
Isn't it just?
Yeah. And where do I find this Arch Warhammer person? Someone give me an address. Feminist 40k. I'd rather not link and give him the hits, frankly. Arch has a channel with 120,000 subscribers. Feminist 40k has 1,500-ish. I saw them a recent post. We've hit 1,500 people. So yes.
Yes. I'll read the next one. That's where the really gets good.
Yeah. Although, if you're referring to his home address, we don't we don't condone violence against people, even if they are sacks of shit. Individual opinions may vary. Holy shit.
Okay, I'd like to be optimistic here, but was that you just kind of tacitly saying, if you wanted to?
You could dox him if you want. And they do. I tell you what, the Mythicist guys were complaining about being doxed. The feminists, they're such fucking animals. That is the first thing they get. They always complain about other people doing it so fucking hypocritically. Like they do it constantly and maliciously.
I just love the thinking here. Like, give me an address. Anyone would assume, like you did, that they're talking about my YouTube page. And this was like, although if you're referring to his home address, where the fuck? Where did that even come from?
Who would I didn't even read it as being the home address. But that's a good point. Maybe this is an SJW who's literally asking to get your address to harass you.
I'm just baffled by why you would even come to that conclusion, honestly. And it's something they added in afterwards, like 6 hours ago. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Or I'm confused.
Sorry, what am I looking for? What the time difference? 6 hours, and then 2 hours.
Yes,
later.
yeah, they added that in later.
Oh, yeah, good observation. Yeah, they came back to this because they were thinking about it.
Yes,
they certainly. I love this though. Going individual opinions may vary. What they're saying is we don't morally condemn you if you do something that's in our favor.
Like, okay, we don't condone violence, but we won't, condemn you for thinking that might be a good idea. Like,
yeah, if you do it, we're going to go, ha ha ha, you deserve it.
I mean,
we only know this because they do this all the fucking time. I mean, like, was it Sarah Butts and Gamergate? There are tweets of her literally saying, well, doxing is good if it's used for the right cause. And it's like, okay, well, there we go then. Literally everyone now has moral license to dox. Thanks, Sarah, you dummy. And that was obviously before we learned that she was a pedophile.
Well, shit.
Yeah, exactly. Who could have imagined that a male feminist transitions to a woman and becomes a bad person somehow? It's the male feminist part, I'm telling you, that whatever attracts men to feminism is a bad part of their psyche that they're trying to make better. If I advocate for women, it doesn't matter how I feel about them, how I treat them. That's how I think it is.
It's just fucking ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's awful and amazing. So, Archie, magnificent Nordic fuck. Which Primarch would I be?
Sargon?
Yes. Sargon, yeah.
Let's see. I think Magnus, because you're constantly prodding into this dangerous ideology, and it's going to burn you one day. One day there's going to be a feminist outside your door with a shotgun. It's like, you're a misogynist.
And her name will be Christy Winters.
Disturbingly likely.
Who has more black in their blood, Sargon or Sean King? Me.
Sargon, undoubtedly. Look at Sean King.
Yeah, I actually know that. Someone posted a picture of the TYT subscription Elliot Roger had. But he's looking for reliable feminist info, but general information is saying yes. God, let it be true.
That would be funny.
And probably inevitable. If you like the Masquerade video, you might like the pen and paper RPG. In my opinion, Exalted is the best White Wolf setting. I never played any White Wolf RPGs. I was always aware of them, but I never got to play them.
Oh, good. You did play Vampire the Masquerade, though, right? Right?
Oh, I played the video game, yeah.
Good. Vampire the Masquerade. Yeah. Best fucking RPG.
Really good, yeah. The 40k community doesn't give a damn about SJW crap. This isn't Marvel. The 40k community won't stay silent about it. Feminism would kill Games Workshop, and everyone in the community knows it. Yeah, they fucking will kill Games Workshop. Yeah, and it will be tragic to see feminists take over the law writing capabilities of the 40k universe. Imagine the next edition. It literally is diverse space marines in rainbow armor. That's what you're going to get, I promise. Gay space marines, like transsexual space marines. This isn't going to be like a fascist utopia. It's going to be like SJW commie utopia.
It's a lot of you guys probably remember a certain person who got into 40k a while ago. A certain Matt Ward, for example.
Oh, the sexual predator, Matt Ward.
Is he now? Oh Jesus!
Probably. Is he? I just assumed, to be honest. No, let me check. Because I actually have a spreadsheet of this. And that name does sound familiar. Sorry, Matt. If I'm wrong there, I take it back.
The Ward. He's known as just the Ward. He who shall not be named for what he did to 40k fluff. What the feminists are going to do to the fluff. Ward is going to look like a fucking balmy summer day in comparison. We are going to be screaming out his name. Please save us, Ward. And he will not come.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm thinking of Matt Hickey. Sorry, it was a different person. My apologies. But yeah,
spiritual fucking lead. Just go
do
to
you want to know about Matt Hickey? This is just incredible. It's the irony of real life, right? It's that male feminists create victims. All right, so he gained notoriety for his opposition to Gamergate, quipping, "Gamergate is a bunch of woman-hating future rapists." And in October 2016, he was jailed on 3 counts of rape.
Aww.
Imagine the levels of projection involved in Matt Hickey's thought process. The cognitive dissonance must have been painful every fucking day as he's running around thinking to himself, "I am a fucking woman-hating rapist." And then he goes and does it.
I don't get how their brains work at that point, honestly. But hey,
no. But there's something wrong with male feminists. I think it comes from an emotional drive rather than like a rational one. But sorry, I'm going to go back to the comments. But I'm so sick of male feminists. They're just such annoying cunts. It's just like, dude, piss off. And what have I done with the questions? I have lost the question. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Come on now, Sargon. People are paying you good money. Hurry up.
Well, I don't want to forget them. Now I must have used the tab for something. God damn it. Now I've got to find it myself. Sorry, this is going to take ages because I'm useless.
Ethan Taylor, did you ever play the old Fire Warrior game? We don't speak about that here. Not in civilized circles.
I never played it. I didn't hear bad things about it, though. But that's because I watched TB's. No, TB didn't like it, did he?
It has cows bludgeoning Imperial Guardsmen to death.
Does it?
And Space Marines too, by the way.
Any female ones, though?
I don't think so, no, unfortunately.
Fucking sexism. Torga Tunnel, the storm is coming. I don't know what that is. Feminism. It is though 1,000 mouths, I think you mean, cry out in pain. He says miles, but I think he means mouths. But anyway, Sargon, when's the D&D campaign coming out? I have no idea. I've just been really fucking busy recently. And there's been like, Scrump's been off in London working underground or something. So it's just like, right, okay. What's the worst kind of cancer to get? Testicular, pancreatic, feminism, etc. Honestly, I think they're all equally bad. What about you?
I think feminism rots the brain. And I'd rather die of testicular cancer, thank you.
Is there anything that can be done to try and stop it, or would it be a lost cause? I think you just have to be vocal in your opposition to a bunch of meddling busybodies and moral bullies coming along and taking over your hobby and changing the law of your hobby to suit their ideological purposes, because that's exactly what they're doing. So be aware. This is not a neutral group who just want to play your game. This is a group that want to take over your game and make it how they want it.
They are. Again, it's like, it's not like this is something new.
No, we
are not assuming that this is how they're going to behave. We have seen them do this exact same thing over and over again. We are quite literally working from experience here.
Yes, we can point you to literally any community on the internet. I mean, even the libertarian community is going this way now. It's crazy. Like feminists controlling libertarians with gender politics. It's so bizarre. It's like you should be like, I'm an individual. I don't care about what other people are doing. I'm a libertarian. That's surely the mindset. But somehow even they've been cucked to the feminists. And it's like, right, okay, no. It's going to have to be up to us to just resist feminists then, because like no one else can be trusted not to become feminist.
It's a stupid thing.
It's so dumb. It's just like everyone just gets completely cucked, and it's like, yeah, I guess women suck. Right, we've got to help them, just like the feminists say. It's like, no, women don't suck. Women are doing fine. They're making their choices, and they're just not the choices you want to see. Because for some reason, you don't believe there are any differences between men and women, and so you think any difference in number and in any vocation or hobby or anything like that is down to sexism. Well, it could just be down to preferences.
But that would undermine their entire ideology, so let us just ignore that.
Exactly. If that's true, then there are no grounds for them to gain control of your community, which means they're just going to have to play along like everyone else, which is probably why male feminists are such fucking uncompetitive betas. This may well be a power strategy for weaklings.
You need to hurry up and make that video. It sounds funny.
It's going to be a good one. It's I have been working on it a lot. It's just gonna be a long fucking list. It's gonna start with a feminist saying, we should be careful of male feminists. I'm gonna be like, you're damn right. A stop clock is right twice a day, and this is one of those times. Here's a list of male feminists who have raped or done worse to women. And now we've got a bunch of accusations, but I'm also going to play the listen and believe rape victims parts. I'm going to get a compilation of listen and believe rape victims from women, various feminists. And we're like, okay, male feminists, we're going to listen and believe these women. And then there's going to be the list of accusations. So yeah, so it looks like male feminists are a giant bunch of fucking rapists, and that's just because so many of them are. I can't wait to do it. Anyway, that's my fun. Seriously though, these people are so annoying, and I just leave people alone, you cunts. But anyway, Aaron Dembski Bowden supports this. Who's he?
He is an author that writes for Black Library. He's actually made some decent books too.
Oh, okay.
Not my favorite author, to be fair, but not bad.
But he's part of the establishment.
Yes, and I don't think, judging from his tweets, I think he's taking them at face value. He's one of those people that thinks feminism just wants equality. I don't think he knows yet. So, as the saying goes, never attribute to malice what can adequately be explained by ignorance.
No, absolutely. That is definitely something that happens. Well-meaning people who honestly believe what they're being told at face value, despite a consistent pattern of behavior in practically any community you can imagine. So, unfortunately, these people become useful idiots. They're not bad. They're not awful people. They don't understand. Do you hear the voices too? Yes, I do. That's from what the fuck's it called? Dawn of War. God, there's so many different fucking ones. It's hard to remember.
They hide in metal boxes.
Arch, could you do a lore type video of the kind of the robots of the kind of robots you've worked with?
Honestly, the ones I mostly do are pretty boring. I don't think they'd be particularly interesting for normal people. It's just a robotic arm doing things.
Right. Okay. Even then, maybe it could be interesting. But anyway, so Raxus says, I got banned from that 40k feminist site. So this is one of the people who has already been banned.
Of course. He's one of the many victims of the purge.
Yes, exactly. Oh God, you're like a Jew in Nazi Germany. You've just been purged, man. From the feminist safe space. For the Volk. Arch Sargon, best ship ever. That is a cool name for a ship, actually. Archie, yeah. So who? Yeah, no, we've done that one. I seem to recall that to prevent Space Marine supremacy, the Emperor prevented them from ruling planets or breeding.
That might very well be correct. Probably one of the old lore bits. There's a lot of strange old lore.
It's a bit rough, though, isn't it? I mean, I could leave the ruling planets part, but like,
Plus, I'm almost certain that's a piece of really old fluff. Like we're talking rogue trader fluff, because Space Marines do actually rule planets.
Right. Okay. When are we going to do another tabletop? Yeah, I've already answered that again. Don't know. Hey Arch, ISIS are only reacting to Western imperialism. Now, where's my friendly chat? Says the frog spawned one.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Only responding to Western imperialism. Well, the Russians are arguing with them at the moment, so it's fine.
Yeah, and that's not true either by their own admission. You can read, what was the name of the magazine? Not Ramaya, but the one before, Dabik, I think it is. That they, in one of the issues, I think it's 14, they have literally just this part where they're talking to Western journalists. They're like, we hate you because you are infidels. Even if you don't attack the Middle East, we will still hate you because you are infidels. And we will kill you. We will make the entire world Islamic, blah, 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 blah. And they're literally just explaining to them, look, we don't give a shit what you fucking do. It's like, you're not Muslims. And it's like, right, okay. I mean, that's the manifesto of ISIS right there.
Yep, they literally don't care. They are religious fanatics. They don't actually have to be driven by logic, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, believe it or not. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, and I love that they aimed it directly at Western journos though. Like they were literally aiming at the verified Twitter classes, going, no, shut up, stop saying it's what you're doing.
They're probably getting annoyed. Like, look at all these fucking filthy non-believers thinking they know us. What the fuck?
Yeah, and we've killed loads of you infidels. Blah blah blah. But anyway, so finally took my advice about Arch being better at game commentary and reviews than you. That's true. He is way better. I'm not gonna lie about that. Jeez, Arch, who did more wrong, Erebus or Magnus?
Erebus, unquestionably. See, Magnus did what he did from a good position. At least he meant well. Erebus is just a cuck, literally.
Okay. I really don't get this. We've already got female Space Marines. They're called the Sisters of Battle. He's a noob. Okay.
I mean, it is a point. Like, if you want to play female Space Marines, play Sisters of Battle. They're basically the same thing.
Well, they've got one less toughness, Arch.
Oh,
they're not.
But they've got fucking tons of heavy flamers, and they've got a rocket launcher that looks like an organ.
That's pretty cool, but like, yeah, but they're not the same. Functionally, they're different. See, I literally don't give a shit if they're female. I care that they've got one less toughness. Because one less toughness is a hell of a lot more bolt rounds survived.
That is true.
When you have the one more toughness, obviously. So yeah, I can see, I mean, they're not functionally the same, so we shouldn't consider them like they are the same. So I actually object to they're called the Sisters of Battle. The Sisters of Battle, and they've got a different loadout as well. The Sisters of Battle have way more flamers than I ever need in any one battle, which is why I'm not them. But I like the versatility of Chaos's armory.
That's flamers are fun. Big templates.
Yeah, but they're really fucking restrictive.
Yes, but big templates. Size matters.
Yeah, but las cannons matter.
Las cannons matter.
Fucking strength 9 matters. It's like, like heavy bolters, range 48, isn't it? This matters, man.
But well, I'll let you argue for your diversity then.
Exactly, right? I want diversity of heavy weapons squads. I don't just want heavy flamers. But yeah, I don't agree they're the same thing. But I think it makes perfect sense from the lore. I mean, why aren't you arguing? I mean, where's the argument for the female orcs? Or and why stop at female? Why not just say, where are my orcish Space Marines?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. It's like, okay, well, if that's all that matters, just representation, why don't we have Eldar Space Marines, Orc Space Marines, fucking Tyranid Space Marines? That'd be beautiful.
It turns it into a farce. Just orcish Space Marines. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see how you came to that conclusion, you fucking idiot. Get out of my hobby. It's not even my hobby anymore. I'm still feeling protective over it. But no, I don't agree that we can just call Sisters Battle female Space Marines, because they're not. That guy you debated at Miscom was such a fidgety fuck. Thanks for crushing him. No problem. Thank you. Draconian measures sounds like they're projecting. Oh, yes.
Compared to what they are already doing, what I was suggesting was fucking mild.
Feminist 40k screaming sexist, racist abuse at strangers is harassment. Is that not what feminists do all day? Yes. That's exactly what they do all day. No wonder you were banned from that fucking... That's Raxus again. No wonder you were banned from that page. You pointed out an innate hypocrisy of the feminists. Boom.
We can't have that. Thank you very much.
No, what an awful person you are. How very dare you. Yeah, it's only a matter of time to see the political sniping of the guys in the bolt thrower, even though the ban has been broken up for every year. Do you guys like bolt thrower? No, I've never heard of them. Arch, is this something you know?
No, I don't. Google tells me it's a music ban.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm afraid I don't know anything about it. Is there going to be a special snowflake brigade in Warhammer 40,000? Yes. I swear to God, if you let these people in say like 10 years time, you're going to see like rainbow racial transgender Marines just everywhere, and it's going to like, this isn't the scary Nazi future that you initially made it out to be. Now it's the scary commie future.
Scary commie future.
All the white males are going to end up getting put to death, I presume.
In the grim, dark future of the 41st millennium, there are only transvestites.
That's transphobic, Arch. It's called transsexuals.
But hey, at least it sounds like a pretty grim and dark future to me, at least.
Well, yes, it will be a grim and dark future. Please address the Thermian argument. They'll probably say the Primarchs can't make female Space Marines. What's the Thermian argument?
The Thermian?
Yeah. Is this a 40k thing, or is this just something I don't know about?
I'm not aware of the term. Let's see if Google can tell me.
Logical fallacy that I'm not aware of. Thank you. Apparently, the Thermian argument in video games from 2015 by someone. So the Thermian argument is a logical fallacy that occurs when question or criticism concerning political statements that can be gleaned from a game or work of art are countered instead with an in-universe explanation for why the thing being criticized is actually valid. Right, okay, this is a logical fallacy. Well,
that is pretty good.
I mean, it technically isn't a direct refutation of what they're saying. So it's not. I don't think it's how is it a logical fallacy? It's just not addressing the argument. Is that it? So, I mean, he then calls it the Thermian argument. He says the argument is problematic because it reasons that fictional concepts cannot be criticized through a real life lens if they're supported by in-universe rationale. Well,
which, I mean, I would say is true.
Yeah, I would think that makes sense. I mean, he's just calling the argument problematic at this point. So it's gone from being a fallacy to just an argument to now just being problematic. So, okay, the fictional concepts cannot be criticized through a real-life lens if they're supported by a universe rationale. Well, it wouldn't make sense to criticize them through a lens that it wasn't instrumental in creating the universe, because then you're criticizing them by standards they weren't trying to uphold. What's the point in criticizing things as not being feminist enough if the thing wasn't made by a feminist? It'd be like saying, well, this isn't Nazi enough, this isn't communist enough. Well, then why would it be? It wasn't created by a communist.
Yeah, it's trying to impose an external factor upon a universe. The universe exists in this way, but you're saying, but I don't want it to exist in this way.
Yeah, that doesn't satisfy my feminist critique. Okay, but it's objectively not feminist. But I think that's the problem, isn't it? It would be considered more objective if it's not done through any one lens, but they want to apply a single lens that isn't appropriate.
See, the thing is, which way, blah, blah, English. We're talking here about internal consistency within the universe. For example, I'll give you an example of how this is done poorly. In Star Wars, for example, you have weapons that fire plasma bolts. However, they are not vented in any way. They are not flared in any way. They have no way of dispersing the heat. Now, you might say, okay, that is how it works within the universe, but then the plasma bolt is actually ridiculously hot, and they have no material capable of resisting that temperature, and they are literally holding the barrel of the weapon, who should be the same temperature as a small fucking star. That is an example of bad internal consistency. And then you might be able to say like, okay, but in real life, this would happen when you did this. But in the case of 40K, when we're talking about female Space Marines, the reason why they aren't is because all Space Marines are essentially a clone of their Primarch, and the genetical differences between male and females are simply too large.
Well, yeah. I mean, the base premise of 40K didn't include commentary on gender politics.
Strangely enough.
Like, in the way that the feminists would consider it to be commentary. Obviously, they consider everything regarding gender to be politicized. So that is, in and of itself, a positive political statement, in their opinion. But that's a statement for just traditional gender roles. Okay, maybe. I'm happy to say that is a statement of traditional gender roles. But to suggest that that is somehow offensive when you know that the people who did it had no consideration to feminist theory is, like I was just saying, it's just holding to a standard by which it's unreasonable to be judged. So I mean, why isn't it Scientologically, accurate? Because you're not a Scientologist, you're a feminist. Not that there's much difference.
Why isn't it mythologically accurate?
Yes, exactly. It's silly, and it's especially silly because it's a fucking board game. Like, don't women have bigger problems in the world that you could be advocating for? Holy goddamn shit. But so anyway, yeah, the hole in this is easy to spot when you subscribe to the idea of a total author power. That being that any logic within a fictional world is simply the result of arbitrary ideas flowing from the author's head versus any adherence to any actual physical objective laws. Okay, so
well, that's also not actually correct. I mean, 40K has an established law.
But it's not just that, it's the result of arbitrary ideas. No, they're not arbitrary. They've been put into place for a reason, because they create a certain kind of effect. For example, mankind has been placed in a phenomenally dangerous universe to justify mankind being a really brutal, tyrannical regime, being run by a theocratic god emperor. That's not the sort of thing you can just pull out when mankind isn't really in danger. And also, it's a war game. The danger makes it exciting. That's how you're going to sell. None of this is arbitrary. All of this is crafted. This is, things that do things with each other for a reason to get people to buy your game.
Yeah.
It's not arbitrary. It's totally, there's loads of reasons for all of these choices. But I love this, versus any adherence to actual physical objective laws. I mean, you just gave an example of the physical law that it's going to get hot. You can't just hold the barrel,
But at the same time, if Star Wars were to simply just say, like, yeah, but the weapon is made of a special material that doesn't get hot. Like, okay, fine. In that case, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but you didn't say that.
Exactly. That's the difference. If it's built within the universe, we go by the universe. Only if the universe doesn't give you an answer can you go like, well, but theoretically.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And yeah, totally. So even if the story does try to be as realistic as possible, the actual living reality that it is, that it doesn't have to, the actual living reality is that it doesn't have to be so. No, it doesn't have to be after, when you first start, but now we've started and everyone's, knows how it works. Yeah, it does have to be this way.
This is the old fucking idiotic argument of, like, why can't there be female Space Marine? It doesn't work, but it's just a fantasy world. Like, why can't we? Because fuck you, that's why.
Oh, mate, this is total critical theory. It's like, right, you resist on this point? Okay, we'll just attack that point then instead. Even though any other person who was any interest in the fucking hobby would stop and agree on that point. As in, well, you like the law, don't you? So, yeah, well, this is internally consistent with the law. That's good, yeah. Okay, but why is it good to be internally consistent with the law? Okay, because we like the game as it is. It's typical critical theory going down here. And there's literally just like, you can write anything for any reason, even if it doesn't make sense. Fuck you. Just, that is the stupidest thing. Okay, then you don't want to be playing 40K.
Yeah, and we know that's not true because Matt Ward, who wrote a bunch of shit, is genuinely despised by considerable portions of the 40K community.
But no, what he's saying is, okay, you could write it to be anything. So yeah, but then it wouldn't be 40K. Then it wouldn't be like it is, which is what we want. And it would be
rejected by the very community who likes 40K.
They will leave, and you will end up destroying the thing that you took over, like you always do. You fucking cancerous rats. Get out. No, but they absolutely are. They destroy everything. I mean, Marvel literally had to make a statement against diversity because it's killing their comic book sales. and they bully and they lie about people all the time. I mean, we take it as a joke because I've only got 1,500 followers, but when the Guardian finds this, oh, I'm going to be a terrorist sympathizer in the news, mate. You know, these
Exactly.
fucking liars are just the worst. Sometimes they just, you know, that's incredible. Fucking terrorist sympathizer. And then they won't call out Dan Orell for getting people to try and join Antifa, obviously, because he's a communist, and that's okay. They're insane. So yeah, and he also says it's talking past the original point of the question, which is true. But the original point of the question, the original answer is yes, it is as you accurately identify it. This is not a feminist piece of art. You know, so you're like, why is this? Because it's not feminist. That's why. It's traditionalist. Deal with it.
It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, this is a terrible argument. This is the Thermian argument. It's like, okay, well, it sounds a lot more impressive than it is, because it's really not. And this has been going around since at least 2015 here, but yeah, it's just postmodernist crap. Why don't we just take 40k apart and make it into something else? Because we like 40k. That's why. It's easy. I mean, what else do you need to say? So I can't, and it pisses me off the gall. It's like, hey, why don't we just change all of this? It's like, because people are enjoying it.
Why should we?
Yeah, exactly. Why the fuck should you? You know, if everyone's enjoying it, and then like literally 1,000 feminists come along and say, hey, let's change everything. Why should everyone be like, yeah, okay? Or we're upset. Oh, maybe you should just go away. You seem like more of a hassle. But anyway. So in the next Warhammer 40k, are there going to be fat women with pink hair demanding certain things that they need to do in the combats? Entirely possible. Not the next one, but like a couple down the road, like a few years down the road, you'll find just some really gay shit in there. And I don't mean the Slaaneshi types, because I like Slaanesh. Slaanesh is actually one of my favorites. It's just like provocative, but and I like the Keeper of Secrets as well. It's a great name. But yeah, you're going to find some fucking just stupid feminist shit in there. They will make this is the thing. They will make diversity a value. Like the Space Marines will be sitting there giving a shit about diversity.
And they will enforce that. They will create a perceived value of diversity. They will simply say diversity is worth something. And you say, no, it isn't. Well, that's racist, isn't it? It's horrible.
I mean, literally, like, the Space Marines would be hashtag no lives matter.
Pretty much.
Literally, that would be their hashtag. Black Lives Matter. No, they fucking don't. White Lives Matter. No, they don't. No one's fucking lives matter. You know, this planet has been deemed to be heretical. Goodbye. It's like, okay. Like, oh god. Socially aware Space Marines. It's going to be so cucked. It's
ridiculous.
So unbelievably cucked. Just like the Space Marines used to be terrifying. Now they're gay. It's probably the fan art people make. I don't know what that was in response to. Sorry, asterisk. Squats are better than dwarves. Whew, that's fighting talk, Merc. Jesus. Merc sparks the first fucking war between Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000. So the squats even in it anymore? I thought they took them out.
They got eaten by Tyranids in a byline somewhere.
Oh.
Like literally 2 lines of text. The squats got eaten.
The squats had the best reason for existing, though. We were on a big planet with high gravity and it shrunk us. Totally feasible.
Totally feasible.
Totally is. It's like, yeah, no, that would probably create a race of people who are short. You know?
It would create a stout little race of dwarfies with power armor and giant battle trains. I fucking love the battle trains.
Exactly. So they had every justification for existing in the universe. So, Charlemagne, the SJWs will spawn a new Chaos God just like the Eldar did. Oh shit, that might be true. What if they did?
Giant, fat, problem glasses creature, bulbous, and even more foral.
The god of perfect equality. It's actually a tyrannical chaos god.
Its gender is currently changing, and it answers any plea with "Did you just assume my gender?"
it will be the worst one of all, Stalin-esh, the god of social justice and equity. That's fucking amazing. Stalin-esh. Fucking, it is just. I love how they just hate people who achieve stuff. That you did something in your life, you're privileged. You're a bad person, really. Feminism is the fifth chaos god. Oh god, I missed these. Yeah, my dwarf army is going to chew your ass up. Possibly. Chaos versus whatever weak ass formation you've got. Problem is, Games Workshop is already trying to pander after Dawn of War 3, so they'll cave to the squeaky wheel. Yeah, I think that they are going to be generally afraid of bad publicity.
That's what I fear too. I think they are going to start to bend, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will be afraid of the negative PR, not understanding that the negative PR is going to be amongst professional feminist activists and the spurgs that follow them, not people who play 40k.
Yep.
So literally no one who plays 40k will know that the feminists are pissed off about this. They just won't know. You don't have to care. Like,
best part is,
regular people don't know.
Games Workshop recently returned more to their roots on focusing on 40k and the community around it and their various products. And they've seen a massive increase in sale. They did better last year than they did any previous year. They went back to the original formula that worked, and now they're eyeing a formula that doesn't work. Like, yes,
it has a proven track record of killing your sales. Yeah,
we're getting pretty fucking sick of all this money.
Games Workshop have always been cripplingly afraid of money and success, though.
They have. It's remarkable.
Where is my digital 40k, Games Workshop? Just
I swear to God,
it.
They could digitalize 40k. They could sell me licenses for fucking models. Yeah. I'd buy them. $15 a fucking pop.
Literally like Magic the Gathering Online.
Yep.
I would actually do that. Like, because my problem is the time it takes to assemble and paint them, and gather an army, and then find time to play. I just don't have that time. But if
the
I can
logistical problems, okay,
yes,
you got to gather up your army, put them in a bag.
Yeah, find an opponent.
Need to pack the fucking bag, find an opponent, go down to the game store, set off a time, instead of just going online, hitting a fucking button, boop, you're matched against some random dude.
Exactly. Exactly. I literally just do not have the time. Just give me my digital 40k and Warhammer Fantasy. Fuck it. I like the Total War thing. I can understand why you're trying, and I can understand why, but I wasn't a fucking fan. Just give me the fucking turn-based digital version, you cucks. I will buy the fuck out of that. So Jaffa Calling says Warhammer Fantasy is far superior to 40k. Merc says fight me, Jaffa Calling. Jaffa Calling says Merc, come at me, bro. Chaos versus Merc says Chaos versus whatever weak ass formation you've got. 40k or Fantasy, your choice. Damn, the fucking gauntlet's down on 40k. That's awesome. See, and if there was a digital version of this Games Workshop, they could be playing this out online, and we could be watching it.
Yes. God damn you, GW.
Yeah, you look what you've done to us. You've made us have to criticize you because we couldn't just be playing your fucking games. Imperial Fist, Best Legion, Chaos is for fags. Man, you're fucking blocked. Hang on. Replace orcs with feminists, problem solved. No, they're a lot more insidious. Tyranids, definitely. Replace Tyranids with feminists. Feminids. Tramps are always gay, you faggots. That's a good point. How would Corn feel about an offering of menstrual blood? Oh, fucking, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. 5 years' time, you've got fucking feminist chaos sisters of battle offering them menstrual blood up to Corn. I bet.
Because why the fuck not? It's equal.
It's fucking... This is what life is like through a feminist lens. It's insane. All lives matter. The SJW faction suffer from a horrifying mutation known as the triggering. No one in the Imperium knows what causes it, but it sends them into a mad frenzy that disturbs even Corn worshippers. I tell you what, they really should introduce an SJW faction. That's what I would do.
That'd be wonderful. Then we could point and laugh.
The Adeptus Sororitas is not inclusive enough. It reinforces binary gender stereotypes. We need an Adeptus Transitas faction. Good point. Sisters of Battle are too white. We need the Sisters of Battle. It's good point. Why not? Why not go the whole hog? Where are my transgender regiments? I told you, literally, that they will push for that. And we're taking the piss, but they will literally argue for this. Unironically. Where's my trans legion?
Give him an inch.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah. Cadia broke before the guard did. My favorite female anti-feminist plays Tau. No accounting for taste.
That's true. Tau is pretty cancerous.
Yeah, I don't like the Tau very much. Hey, Sagan, thanks for your hard work. You're an inspiration. I wish I could be half man you are. I'm really not that impressive, man. No homo. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
However, I have seen Sargon in real life. You are probably likely to be half the man he is, in just sheer volume.
Thanks, Arch. I'm glad I used my treadmill
too
today.
Fucking obvious, okay? I had to.
Right. No, I'm glad I used my treadmill today because now I don't feel so bad. It's like, at least I did something about it. I think we know what the Tyranids are fleeing from. It's not the outsiders, it's the SJWs. No, the Tyranids are the SJWs. That's the problem. Alien SJWs. There's alien invasions constantly from feminist SJWs. Astra Menstrual Torum. Menstrual Torum, yeah. Oh, God. The feminist faction is going to be cancer. You Arch, type in Inquisitor Sabathiel. Behold the heresy. I guess we're going to have to do that. Here's a...
I've seen her. I don't mind. She's not actually a Grey Knight. She's just wearing power armor, which is fine. She's an Inquisitor. They have access to that shit. Not a problem.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Hang on.
Plus, she's the kind of female you'd see in 40k with a giant-ass fucking ugly tattoo right in the middle of her fucking head.
Oh, yeah. And I've got there's a comic review with her in here, and she's saying, I've got no context, but she says, we must engage in a far more subtle stratagem. We must encourage them to condemn themselves. It's like, wow, that's kind of feministy, isn't it? Getting the male feminists to condemn themselves.
As they so readily do.
But I'm sure this is actually not feminism. I'm sure this is actually part of a sensible, devious plot that's taking place in the world.
It's not a bad comic, actually. I've been reading it a little bit. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the stills now. It looks quite good, actually. But anyway, so for the Emperor, yes. Plastic bolter bitches or get the fuck out. Some shekels for my two favorite YouTubers. Thank you. I'm not going to share any of it with Arch.
Sargon is monetizing his friendships like the Jew he is.
Yeah, I'm going to Jew you, Arch. I have left a link to your channel in the description, which people should check out the channel.
Thank
Arch,
you, kind of benevolent master.
You're welcome. Get back to cotton fields. Was writing a specific person about the Cathars, but it'll keep. Okay, I have a professor in the Ancient World Humanities course who is actively against SJW socialist academia. Do you want his contact info? Yeah, email me. I'd love to talk to him. Lovely work, lovely debates. Debate Sean and Jen. I'd love to debate Sean and Jen. Sean and Jen don't really believe anything. That's the thing. You'll never get them to actually express their position because they sound stupid when they do it. It's just like Tom Bloke. Like, you're watching Tom Bloke make a positive statement is the most funny thing in the world. Like, his best one recently was, what was it? Like, let's be honest, having guns doesn't prevent gun violence. And there are just so many examples of when it does. So it's like, yeah, shut up. But anyway, if you like historical fiction, read The Skystone. I'll check out The Skystone. Have you heard of that?
I have not heard of it.
It was published in 92. Sort of a Roman officer who's an expert blacksmith as well as soldier in the early 5th century. Okay, sounds interesting enough. Now I have to find the fucking thing. I have too many tabs open. Right, there we go. Only a gamer can call another gamer gamer. It's very true. There's a Dr. Random Camp video. I liked it. When do you think the world will finally realize what kind of political correctness fuckery it has involved itself in and purge itself from this lunacy? Probably not that far in the future, actually. I think it's becoming quite widely known what kind of cancer people are dealing with at this point. I mean, MythCon was an interesting thing because they posted on Twitter that they don't apologize for hosting the con, and they're very proud of how the con was, which is amazing because the SJW is just autistically screeching about it. I love the impotence of it as well. They're just angry.
Yeah, it's becoming more obvious.
Yeah. And it is moral bullying. This is why the most important thing that you can ever know about the social justice warriors is never apologize if you did nothing wrong. If you don't feel like you did something wrong, don't apologize to these people because you didn't do anything wrong.
And we need to start realizing that.
Yeah, these people are using your own good intentions against you. And they want to gain control over your spaces. We've seen this too many times to pretend this is not true. They're after all the entertainment thrones of influence. When we begin making our own stories for a new tomorrow without this gayness, we win. That's true, Carl. And that's a great way of putting it. They are literally just going for major. These are centers of power and influence because everything about social justice is power politics. They can't define anything without defining it using power, and so naturally they gravitate to any centers of power. They become institutionalists because they know that's how they gain power.
And once they have the power, they're going to destroy all the things we like again.
Yes,
They
they literally will. If you want to see a 40k version of Marvel Comics, ask me about my feminist agenda on the fucking front cover, then you just keep quiet. If that's what you want to see, just be quiet. If you don't want to see that, you have to at least tell them that you don't want to see that, because otherwise they won't know. You don't be rude or anything. Just say, look, I'm really not into all this ideological bullshit. In the same way, I wouldn't be into it if you were turning it Scientologist.
I can just imagine that on a fucking front cover of 40k. Just a Space Marine wearing something like that. Oh my.
Just with a bunch of diverse Space Marines. Like the United Colors of Benetton ads have put on power armor and are now fighting orcs.
Heaven protect.
It's so fucking gay. Can you suggest people write vote in max government wage and no lobbyist cash on the backs of currently and select qualified humanitarians as leaders like Doctors Without Borders, renewable engineers? Not really. I haven't thought about any of these things, and I wouldn't want to recommend doing anything like that because I haven't thought about it. I'm not saying I won't think about it, I just haven't. Sargon, my hate on the Cathars, they were just a run-of-the-mill Gnostic cult. I don't hate the Cathars at all. I like the Cathars, in fact. But when you're putting on the lens of the Catholic Church to understand the Cathars from their position, you can't not see them as a threat. They're an absolute existential threat to the Catholic Church, which is why they had to be eradicated. Apparently, Count Dankula posted a video right after he asked, trial delayed again, poor bastard. Yeah, it's fucking annoying. They keep delaying it because this whole thing's a fucking ridiculous farce. What happened? He put a joke video up about teaching his dog to like Hitler. Well, what happened? Well, it offended some Jews. Find me a Jew that's offended by this.
It's absurd that that's actually a court case.
Okay, let's assume it did. Let's assume it offended all of them. I don't care. He's still free to make that video. It's not a crime to make that fucking video. And if it is a crime, it fucking shouldn't be. It's so ridiculous. Do I follow Aiden Paladin? No, I'm not aware of who that is. The name looks kind of familiar, actually. I'll just look them up at some point. Are you a gorilla pit because I want to drop a baby in you? Thanks, Jaffa Corner. Would you debate a non-YouTuber? Of course. Love how I made a vid about Magic the Gathering being infested with SJWs before you and Jeremy, yet you guys get eyes on it. That's Chris Byer. I don't know who you are, man. Sorry. Sorry, Chris Breyer. Bryer. He apparently has videos about Magic the Gathering and SJWs, so might be worth checking him out. Although I don't see any of that on his channel, so that's a strange discrepancy there. Any comment on the culture war infiltrating comics with SJW's creators hating fans? Well, it's just just literally, if people in 40k, if you want to see what your future is, look at what happened in comics. Like this guy said, SJW creators hating their fans now. So okay, great. If you want the creators of 40k to eventually start hating you, just let them carry on.
Just watch them do ridiculous shit. Like America, that entire fucking comic.
Yeah. ask the doc when he's going to debate Mr. Metica. Well, that'd be an interesting conversation. I'd definitely watch it. Thinking about an impromptu shitlord meetup in Milwaukee. Thoughts? I'm nowhere near Milwaukee. Just want to say hi since we'll never meet. Well, we might one day. I wouldn't rule it out. Looking forward to MythCon. Oh no, that's an old one. Sorry, let's go through old ones now. Right, okay, yeah. So, anything else you want to go through, or is that pretty much all we've got for now?
No, I think that's good. But I really do think it's a good example you bring up. If you want to see the future of 40k, if this goes unchallenged, just look at fucking Marvel and their incredibleness. The best quote I think I've ever seen from Marvel is the one in the Miss Marvel series near the election, where they said democracy sometimes is a contact sport.
That's a worrying thing for them to say.
It fucking is.
I'm sorry, no, the point of the democracy is to make it so it's not a contact sport. So
yes. But look at it, Sargon. That way of thinking about things has gotten white people into power.
Good point, Thomas Smith.
Yes. Remember, Sargon, if we allow people to be free, the white people will take over.
That's true. We can't possibly allow them to be free then. There were a couple more questions, actually. So the Games Workshop I go to is full of shitlords. I think the store manager is one. Some gay, some women. So what the fuck, feminists talking about not being inclusive? Good. That sounds like a good Games Workshop. I have blonde hair, blue eyes, nice perky breasts, thick ass, healthy 250-pound weight. If I shave my neck beard and put on a hijab, I can pass as the average Swedish woman. Can I be your tramp waifu? No. Tulsi Gabbard's my waifu, which is something. So, in fact, next comment. I don't know much about Warhammer except as part of nerd culture, which makes it a prime target for bullying thugs like SJW feminists. Tulsi 2020. Damn right, man. Tulsi would be awesome. I'm really digging the Tulsi love, actually. I was just reading a Wikipedia page the other day just to get a background on her. And I don't disagree with any of her decisions. She seems like an actual liberal.
That would be interesting, certainly.
Yeah, which is why she ends up on the right side of every issue. But, apparently, SJW culture is rife within Games Workshop. Things will be changing. I've seen it from the inside, says Nazgul. That's worrying. But I'm not inevitable, probably. So yeah, you are going to have your own version of Gamergate, basically. It's going to be 40k gate, and you just very politely say, look, we know that you're going to accuse everyone of harassment, but the people who are not harassing are saying, look, we object to your feminist mumbo jumbo. And they will literally ignore all of it, but you just have to be persistent and say, look, okay, let's accept all of your premises. We still have a disagreement ideologically here. You know, they will do everything to get around talking to you.
Well, every cloud has a silver lining. Gamergate turned out well for you, Mr. 700,000 going on 1 million subscribers. So I'm just going to try and copy everything you did, basically.
Yeah, go ahead. You know, like
I shall cozy up some more to the terrorist sympathizers.
Well, I mean, you know the game. I've got my Gamergate videos in a playlist, so you could just watch through them all and see how Gamergate unfolded. I guess from my perspective. But yeah, it's interesting how long ago it feels as well. It feels really old hat to be talking about Gamergate.
When I first talked to Sargon, his beard was black.
Yes. Yeah, it is stressful being a culture warrior, though. I'm not going to lie. You know, you're going to be tired and stressed, and you'll go white. But you're already white. Everything about you is white. Your hair's white. You're the whitest man on earth. You don't have that problem.
Pure as driven snow.
More Nordic than the entire alt-right put together.
I am the alt-right. Personified.
You say that, but Jesus Christ, they're literally going to take that out of context. You know that, right?
That would be beautiful.
Well, they already are. They're already calling you literally Hitler. And then if they just literally Tom Bloke will get the clip of you saying, I am the alt-right, or whatever. And that's it. They'll be like, look at this, look at this, look at this. They won't care. They're just such fucking liars.
Well, at least I'll find it funny.
True. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, I think we've gone through pretty much everything now. And yeah, don't be afraid to stand up for your hobby, because that's the only way you're going to keep it, I'm afraid. Obviously, don't harass anyone, obviously, but it doesn't matter that I say that. It doesn't matter that I say don't do these things. They're going to accuse me of inciting it anyway. Anyway, speak to everyone later. Take care.